Welcome to Emancipated Studio. Welcome my uncle, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block.
Salute, 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 salute. I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all could have been anywhere, but you chose to come here tonight because I think y'all know without a shadow of the doubt that the woman that is in the backstage is about to light Uncle Stu's platform on fire. Y'all could have been anywhere on these YouTube streets, but you came here tonight because you know that you need that positivity, you need that fire, you need the rain, and you came here to get it all. But before we begin, let's give a big shout out to both Talk Hell and Sir Hell Speaks. They are both in the house. And then you got my right-hand man, Wally. Wally's in the house, changing his name because he's changing up the game. Robert H., better known to some of y'all as Matt from Tender. And of course, my superstar Hollywood, better known as the one and only, where is she go? OG Patrice is in the house. Just Jay is in the house. And y'all know we got the one and only. I'ma call her Miss D. She gonna put it on fire. Go ahead and put something silly up on your YouTube page. You'll be in her inbox and she gonna be calling you out. Act silly, ladies, if you want to. And then you got Ms. Benita Sixteen chilling in the house. And of course, y'all know we got the one and only Mr. Awesome. Y'all better watch out for this brother. Y'all be talking about these young folks don't know nothing. Mr. Awesome is about to kill a game. He's about to kill a game. He's all up in this new education system. Watch him. And then, of course, the sweet, the lovely, the one and only of the team, Brown Eyes is in the house. So, ladies and gentlemen, without, bravo. The Bravo with Sheila. The ladies, let's chat. We bringing heat, we bringing smoke. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, this has been 3 months in the making. But she said she don't want to hear nothing about. She is going to be talking from the GA. She said she ain't worried about them GA brothers. Then she turned around and said, I ain't worried about you New York brothers. Oh, we got hot and heavy in here. Because I said, well, I'm part of the DMV. She said, I ain't worried about y'all neither. She says, because I bring the heat, the fire, and the smoke all together because I'm from the Detroit and you better give it up and show that respect. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Detroit, Spittin Fire.
Hey, what it do? What an introduction. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting an award. I'm getting an award. Thank you for the award. Thank you.
You know it. But everybody don't know this has been 3 whole months in the making.
3 months. It don't take that long. 3 months in the making to come over here. 3 months. Finally, we here.
We finally made it.
Yes, finally we here. I'm on the block with y'all now.
And the sad part is I missed my Christmas present. Everybody don't know. I done missed I done put my biz in and lost my Christmas present.
Did you come to the Christmas party? You should have come to the Christmas party.
This was a hard Christmas.
Okay.
Lost my son.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right. So we was really, dealing with like all of the loss and the, trying to get through all the holidays.
I understand.
But we still kept it, one thing that I have learned, throughout this process is as you're going through the pain, you still is a podcaster at the end of the day,
Yes.
and you still got to give the people what they want, which is the value. And I felt as a man who is trying to represent the men and show that I got to show them how you go through that.
Right. Right.
No,
I can only imagine.
yeah.
I
And
can only imagine.
and for me right now is teaching men how no longer to live in silence.
Right. Well, I don't know. I think that men do that because these are these stipulations that they have to deal with. You know what I mean? Growing up as little boys, you know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
think they have a trouble being voiceful, you know what I mean? And speaking their truth and expressing themselves. And I think that can be a issue, you know, at some point. When you teach little boys and tell them you can't cry, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to, all those manifests into other things, you know what I mean, as they get to become adult. And crying is a human emotion and everyone does it, you know?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think that's the truth.
Absolutely. Uh-oh. Here you go. Chicago real. I gotta post it. Chicago real. You know, this is the hardest. See, everybody underestimate
I
Chicago
was like,
real.
yeah, he's a Peace Woodward Avenue, Eureka Road,
Yeah.
and Gratiot. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
That's a look, everybody be talking about going overseas. Chicago real the only one I know that been all around the United States. He gonna go in there,
If
boy.
he's from Chicago, he ain't no but 3-4 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's my
all.
partner
Three,
right
4 hours
there.
away from Detroit.
You
And you
know.
could be in Chicago. If you leave here right now at 12 o'clock, about 3:30, you'll be touching down in Illinois.
Oh,
You be
seriously?
touching you be touching down in Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's why I say DMV area where we act. It's like, okay, you can go here. Within 3 hours, you're over here. Within 3 hours, you're over here.
I have a friend from DC, and he said that it's a lot of the stuff. Thank you. He said that a lot of the stuff is right there, the Virginia, the Maryland, and the DC area.
Yeah. And see,
Yeah, he
me
said it
being
was
from
all
New
right
York,
there.
we say tri-state because it's New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Okay.
You know, so you'll
Okay.
have people that live in New York, work in Jersey, or live in Jersey, work in New York, or vice versa, live in Connecticut and come into the city to work. So
Right.
we all there. We all there. You know. So you grew up in Detroit,
Born and raised. No,
born
no
and
other
raised.
place.
How was it growing up in Detroit?
Rough. There ain't no other way to explain it. Rough. I grew up. I grew up off Exit 9. I grew up off the Joy Road at exit, and I grew up there right outside of the projects. At the time, it was a projects called the Herman Gardens. Um, and around that area, I grew up around that area, and I've lived off over there on that side, and then that was the west side, and then when I became an adult, I live on the east side. But you know, Detroit is it's a beautiful city. It's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of misconceptions out there in the world that makes Detroit look like it's burnt down or whatever. But we have some very beautiful homes. They only show the bad part because I don't know. I don't want to play the race card, but I'm thinking because the population is highly African American or whatever. But that is changing because it's now becoming a mixed city. And but when I was coming up, it was pretty rough. You know what I mean? It was pretty rough. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things where we were the murder capital of the world. And we was like that for a long time. And as a matter of fact, if you Google the 10 dangerous cities, even with all of the things that you hear about New York or the stuff that you hear about Chicago, they still put Detroit as number one. And that's problematic for me because we have came a long way to change the image here in the city, the citizens in the city, and put in, put money into the city and stuff like that, and to keep that stigma over us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's rough. It can be a really dangerous city, a really
Would you
dangerous.
would you say that you made it out in the sense of coming from that social environment? Would you say you made it out, or would you say you're still, where you at, you kind of still there? And when I say still there, I want everybody to understand something. Being still somewhere doesn't mean you didn't progress as a
Right,
as,
right.
as a person. Because again, I'm fully aware that you can be living. Most people don't even know they poor until they get out of their neighborhood anyway. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The
Yeah.
thing of you are absolutely right. One of the things I'm gonna answer your question in a second, but I want to say
Right.
this. The reason why I'm mentioning this right now because of what you just said. My grandfather lived in a really worn down area, right? But
Right.
he lived there for so many years, he would not move. Okay. He would not move forever. So everybody done moved on and moved, got their own place and stuff. And we come back into the area when he has holidays and stuff like that. And we will say, you want to move, we'll try to hit around to it. But when you try to hit around to it, when he was alive, he would just cut your head off like, I ain't moving nowhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Finally, he ended up moving, right?
Okay.
He ended up moving and he still owned that house he was in. So I
Okay.
guess he came back maybe like 6 months later to go over there and fix something because he had a tenant at the time when he was alive. And he was like, finally, he looked at it from the point of where we seen it.
Right.
Because he had to move out of it for a while and then come back and visit it and was like, yeah, this is what you were living like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you live there, you don't see what other people see.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's coming to visit you. And he was like, well, I should have moved a long time ago. We all just looked at him. We all just looked at him like, did he just say that? Like, what I'm saying? We've been trying to get you to move for 20 years and you wasn't even thinking about it. But it is. It's hard living in the city of Detroit. The crime rate is horrible, especially a lot of times for out of towners. You know what I mean? I try to tell people to stay, in where they are or, something like that, because it can be really bad. The one thing that makes it, I think, that's problematic for the city of Detroit is we have gang violence and stuff like everyone else, but
Right.
there's so much, the population, there's so many people that they're individual criminals. You get what I'm saying? That's the most
Right.
dangerous part. You can have a whole lot of gang members, you know what I mean, that's running in a pack.
Right.
But when you have a lot of people individually,
Right.
criminals that's acting, that's when it becomes a problem.
Got you.
That's
How
when
did you make it out? How did you make it out of that environment, being an African American woman? And I'm emphasizing that for a reason.
To be honest with you, when you come from an urban area in any city around the world, that urban person is in you forever. It's
Okay.
what you want to make out the rest of your life. You know what I mean? For me, I fought a lot in high school, right? So college wasn't in my future, until later on or whatever. So at the age of 13, I was kicked out of all Detroit public schools. I was running with the wrong crowd. I was a fighter. I was this and this and that. And I was kicked out for a gun. I had a possession of a weapon, and I got caught with that weapon by a gym teacher or whatnot. And I got into it with some. I was in middle school, and here I am getting into a physical altercations with young women in high school. And so it was really a bad situation. But what made me get suspended was because my background, the my school transcripts, you know what I mean, how many times I was suspended, which would made me be axed out of all Detroit public schools for 2 years.
Wow.
And so I had to go to school for um behavior, kids with behavior issues or whatever. But then I wanted something. I started, growing and developing and liking boys and all this and that. And I start seeing girls going to school and enjoying themselves being teenagers. And I'm like, okay, I want to be a part of that. So I end up getting back, to make a long story short, I end up getting back in. And not only did I get back in, because you would have thought that I would be 2 years behind in school because I was kicked out for 2 years. But I end up going back into the school system. I end up having to go to summer school every year. And I end up not only graduating, but only graduating my year that I was supposed to graduate. So I put a lot of dedication.
Right there.
Yeah.
That deserves hand claps right there.
Yes. So I did that because I realized I wanted something better. You know what I mean? I wanted something out of life. Now, my mother told me, she said, she wasn't going up to the schools no more. I used to pay a crackhead to get me back in school because my mother wasn't going anymore. You know what I mean? And so I was just out here in the streets doing things that I shouldn't have been doing and stuff like that. I had a crackheads on the payroll to get me out of, get me back in school, get me out of jail, whatever it is that I was doing at the time. You know what I mean? And because I didn't want my mother to know.
Let me ask you, so that way I can understand the generation. Because when you start saying crack, I'm like, okay, is she up there like in the Generation X? Are we talking about the crack era when it was like really
This was
hard?
in the 80s. This was in the 80s.
Okay, for me and you, because I'm 54.
Okay, yeah, we in the same age group. This was in the 80s.
All right.
Yeah, this was in the 80s. And so when I got out of high school, I knew I wasn't going to college. Like, I struggled just to get through high school at that point. You know what I mean? I done went through a lot in life at the age of 13 than most people even been throughout their whole life. Right. So by the time I was 20, it's like I've been through a whole lot in life already. You know what I mean? And so my mother was like, I'm not sending your butt to college because you barely made it through high school. So you got to go to work. And being from Detroit, it was either work or go to school. I knew I wasn't going to go to college. So I ended up going to work. And then I ended up putting myself going back to school. And then I got like 3 or 4 more degrees after that.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. One and I love that tenacity. I love the fact of, because I put the whole 80s. Once you started saying that, I had that real PTSD, like flashback.
Yeah. I mean, it's something.
I want to take that part of what you said, how you grew up, and then your fight coming up out of it. I want to take it to today's generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of been on this theme for this last week, because I do plan to try to put a whole little lecture together.
Mm-hmm.
The argument today is that our generation has failed this new generation. And I think, and I think one thing that's old is really understanding what we went through in the 80s, how we got through the 90s, and where we are now.
Right.
From your vantage point, can you talk about that? Trying to give help or trying to give an understanding of this. On one sector, you got, y'all owe us an apology. On the other side is, wait a minute, how do we owe the apology when I wasn't directly your mother, your father, your brother? How do we navigate that? Or help me to navigate that so that I can help my younger people, because I want them successful.
Okay. I think I understand what you're saying. One of the things I think that I say the people in our age group went wrong is that we put a lot of things to kids. We told them that they can be anything that they want to be. Okay. We told them they can be anything that they want to be. We never specify the details into which in the work that they got to put in to become that.
Okay.
Okay. Someone young explained that to me. Several young people explained that to me because I've asked them.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that. And they said that they didn't want the reason why they feel or do things a certain way differently than their parents. They seen their parents work hard and they seen their parents do that. And they didn't want to do that. So they got smarter, but they got weaker and they misunderstood the point. The point is when we told them that they can be anything they want to be, we thought it was a given that you had to work hard at it.
Right. Right.
When we told them that, they really believed that. And that's why they feel entitled. That's why they feel entitled, because we never told them and taught them if you work hard at things, if we instill values in them, then you can be anything you want to do. But you got to put the work in. We didn't tell them that part. But we knew in our generation, we knew it was a given because we seen our mothers and fathers work hard and things like that. And then we knew we wanted to work hard because we wanted things and stuff like that. I seen my mother work hard. She had her own place. I knew I had to work hard because I want my own place. But the new generation is like, nope. You said I can have you. I can be anything I want to be. So they thinking that they supposed to get it. They supposed to give it to them. And many people pacify them and do that. Like you have people who own companies and corporations, and they know their kids is not qualified for these positions, but they'll put them there anyway because of the label of that's my son or my daughter, as opposed to still letting your child work their way up the rank like everyone else.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that that's the problem that we go through in society. I think that that's where we went wrong. A lot of times, another thing we went wrong, we give them whatever they want without even explaining to them why we doing it or not even saying no. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we should have said no.
Right.
Just flat out no. You know what I mean? We give them whatever we want to give them. We pacify them. We cater to them. We do all this and that when we should just said no.
How do we fix it? Because let me say from this vantage point, is a blessing because I'm trying to reach out both to the Generation X's that's online, and there's maybe about six that I know directly. And I always say to young people, you ain't going to find a whole lot of 50-year-olds online. No. Period. And when you do, please understand they're already here for you. So if one group ain't talking to you, you got way too many of us. I mean, I'm in connection with a man that's a baby boomer.
Okay. You know? See, we like that though. Right. We like to converse with baby boomers and people older than that.
Right.
The young people don't. Like conversing to them and talking to them, they already know it all. They already know it all, which they think they do anyway.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We was brought up, wisdom trumps everything. We always wanted that. We always wanted that, and we yearned that.
Right.
You know what I mean? The young people today, not so much. Just like my daughter, I'm gonna give you an example. So a few years ago, she was I think she was beginning middle school at the time. She's grown now, but she was beginning middle school at the time. And Martin Luther King movie came on because I think it was January, Martin Luther King. You know how I used to come on every year?
Yeah.
Remember we was coming, and you remember back in our day, you used to have to do a book report on it.
Now you want to know what's funny?
What?
New York City rejected Martin Luther King. It was all about Malcolm X.
Okay.
You
know, so you had all this stuff. So I was getting her so she could know about him a little more and everything. She looked at me like, why I got to know about that? That was old. That's their mindset.
Right.
That's the point. Like, they don't want to know history. Like, it's to be them, it was too old, too long ago. They can't even relate to it.
Right.
And I think that's an issue. That's could be a problem.
Could be a problem.
It could be a problem.
What brought you to YouTube?
Well, Spittin Fire was a show.
Okay.
Spittin Fire was an actual show. I had a co-host. We had a studio. It was everything. And we were giving two different points of views. It's
Okay.
all in the intro. So the original intro had me and my co-host at the time.
Okay.
Okay. And we started off the show and everything else, and we was in the studio, and we had a whole production crew and everything. Actually, Spittin Fire was actual show. But then she had some issues that she had to deal with her family.
Okay.
And then she ended up becoming a grandmother.
Okay.
And then she ended up like, she seen what I'm going through, like, So now I became Spittin Fire, and that's just how it brought up. But it's an actual show. I'm trying to get her to come back because I'm sick of the solo thing because it's too much. I'm trying to get her to come back. She owns Spittin Fire too. So Spittin Fire has two hosts, you guys, and she needs to come back to her job. She needs to come back to her job.
Look, I look when I got out here, yeah, I'm learning a whole lot about YouTube that I didn't know. And how do you handle as a YouTuber? And this is mostly for us young YouTubers in the game. How do you manage your time and family? Because you have a family.
Mm-hmm. I do. Well,
Everybody don't know. I see. I was privileged to see the daughter.
Oh, my daughter. No,
and both y'all was silly in the background with me.
I have a grown daughter now, or whatever. I try to upload videos and do maybe one live a day or whatever. You know, how people that come on all day or whatever. I don't do that. Sometimes I take a break. Like in November, I normally take a break for the year. Okay. And then the holiday season is my family time. You know what I'm saying? To spend time with my husband, my daughter, my mother, my father. It's just family time because these YouTube streets can definitely consume you. You know what I mean? It'll take you to another world where you forget about living in the real world because so many people so strong on YouTube, and every time they go somewhere, they will go live wherever they are, whether it's in their car or and I found myself doing that for a minute. And I end up stopped doing that. Like the other day, I think it was Wednesday, me and my daughter went out to lunch. I was like, I'm not turning this camera on until we get back, whatever. We going out to lunch. We're going to enjoy the earth. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie, I was in the same position. You know, I had to have my wake up call because it was like we can never go anywhere, and you're not on YouTube, and it's like, well, you don't understand. I gotta get, you know. Back then, I was fighting for at least my 30 subscribers. Oh, you know.
Yes, you do have to put in the work. Like the thing of this with a YouTube, the first 1,000 is hard to get.
Right.
That's the biggest struggle ever. Some people can get it in a matter of weeks. Some people can get it in a month. Some people get it in a few months. Some people get it in 6 months. Some people get it in a year.
Right.
The first 1,000 is so hard to get.
Yeah.
It was a struggle for me. I think it took me about 10 months to get 1,000.
Yeah.
I think the problem with that was I wasn't live. I didn't have a streaming site. I was doing just uploads of videos. And I think that's what hindered me from getting that.
When did you get started? When did you get started? In the sense
2018.
2018. Because see, speaking to older YouTubers versus the new YouTubers, I also understood the game was a little bit different years ago versus how it is now. And I have been given my credit that, you know, my platform kind of grew pretty fast because I went from like nothing to over 1,000 subs in 4.5 months.
Yeah.
And you know, I got another YouTuber, he's coming on Tuesday. Sir L Speaks. You know, he's about 200, 250 away from getting his 1,000. He was like, I'm going after you, and I'm like, come on, you know, because that's my motivation. Come, you know, if I'm your competition, come, you know, because I want to see you successful. I'm not a player hater.
That's me. You know, that is me.
It's like, come at me, come on, you know, make me work harder for
I don't understand. I never understood. Like, I try to support as many Black YouTubers as I can. I try to donate to their channels and everything else as much as I can. But what I don't get is so many YouTubers, they feel that they have to fight or they feel they have to do this to get commentary. If you have to do that, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You should be able to give commentary. Your voice should be able to lend some type of important information to the people. If you don't know how to put a story research together, you're going to struggle. Because one thing about this YouTube, you do have a block, almost like if you are author.
Right.
You have a block sometimes, like what I want to talk about, what I want to do, what, you know what I mean?
Right.
And if you don't know how to do that, you definitely gonna struggle. You definitely gonna struggle.
Right. Because I notice on Black YouTube, you know, and I do separate it for a reason. On Black YouTube, we do a whole lot of live streaming on this side.
Mm-hmm.
Go to white YouTube, they do a whole lot of videos on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because, and it's not a racial thing, just culturally? Is it because it's easier for us just to want to be more personable?
Could
Or
be.
is it that, okay.
It could be. You know, you got some of them that do live streams. They tend to have fun with it. They tend to upload videos, have more fun with it. We tend to be, like you said, more personal.
Right.
They're emotional. Want to talk about topics that make the culture mad. You know what I mean? We talk about things like that. They tend to just say what they say, make fun of what they say, have fun with it, and they're off.
Right.
You know what I mean? With us, we have to fight each other. You know what I mean? We have to fight each other. We have to do this. We have to do that. And they come at me. You know, I'm the biggest one they come at. You know what I'm saying? Because of the stuff I speak on, you know, like, you know the dragon.
I know.
They come for me. They come for me all the time. Like, I get out of character all the time on these YouTube streets. People are like, oh, she do this. I get out of character all the time. And when they talk to me on the phone or whenever they can, if they do get a hold of me on the phone, because I don't really talk to people over the phone. But when they talk to me, they're shocked that I'm the different person than what they see on camera.
So they get it confused between the personality and the person.
Absolutely. They get it. They want Spittin Fire and the Dragon, and they end up getting RA. You know what I mean? They end up just getting me, and I don't be knowing what they want, because I'm like, okay, when it's like lights, camera, action, and when I turn this camera on, I'm in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can talk to you like right now, and I'm talking right now. But then when I'm on Spittin Fire, I turn the camera, I'm like, hey, everybody, and then I'm just going in, and then as soon as I turn the camera off, it turns off.
Right.
My whole demeanor changed, my whole language changed, my whole tone changed. I don't talk about the subject matters. I tend to my family, and I'm done. But they literally believe that I'm this person everywhere I go. I would be crazy if I was like that everywhere I go. I would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely be crazy if I was like that everywhere I go. I have a friend that says, he said, well, I like you, you know, the person and all. Now I say, yes, I understand. I tell them all the time. I said, but you have to understand, Spittin Fire is a show. I talk about real topics that is dear to me,
right?
But there is an alter ego to RA, and it's the dragon. It's the Spittin Fire. It's an alter ego thing. It's not, you know what I mean? You're not going to get that. You're not going to get me when I turn on the camera, unless I'm talking about something that I really want, you know, people to hear from me. But other than that, it's a show. That's what it started off as. And he doesn't get it sometimes. He still confuses it. He's like, why you can sit up there and go at them people? Yeah, I'm the dragon. That's what I do. I'm gonna go do it. Like, I'm gonna go. He was like, but you ain't got to do that. Yeah, I do. And then I come back and he be like, well, why you do that? And he don't understand. He talking to two different people.
Right. And everybody don't know, because I'm gonna tease you now. Everybody don't know about the little girl in you Because I have to
Yes.
come back chat and be like, why you crying, baby?
This is friendly.
She was like, they kicked me over TLA. It's all right. And then you start complaining about Kwame. I'm like, they just treat my baby all wrong.
They just treat your baby. You know what? That's because I didn't have my hair done and I was coming out of quarantine.
Okay, that's what it is.
That's what it was. But when I went back to the salon, I told Kwame, I'm act like I don't know you. And I told TLA, I said, when I come up here and put my lipstick on, and I'm be looking, now I ain't coming back on your show. I ain't coming back on your show until you realize you don't treat me like I'm Sealy. You don't treat me like I'm Sealy.
Everybody don't know, let me put everybody in on the inside joke. If you ever really see Spittin Fire besides her own show, you'll also see her with Kwame Brown on his show. Well, a little incident happened on TLA. Well, Spittin Fire sort of got the boot off of TLA.
I'm going to come back over there.
Yeah,
I'm going back over there. I ain't scared of him.
Yeah, look, had me in the backdrop talking about, TLA, we need to talk about this.
I ain't scared of him. Look, let me tell you something.
Look, you gotta get back on.
Look, I got a lot of backlash from that. Okay, here's the thing with people. When I got kicked off of TLA, people wanted me to, I went off or whatever, Spit the Dragon, but people wanted me to hate him and they wanted me to bash him and they wanted me to, everybody was like, I unsubscribed. And I said, no, don't do that.
Right.
I can handle me. You know what I mean? Right. I don't need you to unsubscribe from him. Like, I would appreciate like how you did. You said you contact him and if you disagree, you let him know. You know what I mean? But don't ever unsubscribe. You know what I'm saying? He's still ours. Don't bash him because the first thing I say something they don't like, they'll do the same thing to us. You got to understand there is no loyalty out here on these internet streets.
Right.
So I was like, no, you know what I'm saying? He got a channel. I want him to grow and prosper or whatever. But how you can say that he said that kicked you off this show? That's his show. That's why I have my show. Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna go back over on his show anyway.
Right.
And I'm going to donate to my brother. If he's talking about something important, he's going to still get my support. There's no different than you fighting with somebody in your family. You know what I'm saying? You fight, you go write them off that quick. If I preach on my channel, Cultural Obligation, and we got to come together as a community, the first time we get into a scuffle with each other, I can't just write you off. That's too easy. Yeah. Some people you have to, but not at the first sight of an incident or disagreement. No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, and see what everybody didn't understand, because you did say something in your commentary, and it was like, that made a lot of sense. When you was like, no, you have to understand, you got to take emotions. You got to look at the whole picture. And that's something that I noticed, that people is not looking at the whole picture, because when I looked at it, now there was some other people he kicked off and it was like, yeah, you had to go. But I don't think everybody looked at the whole picture. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed that in different places, like they'll get mad and it's like, okay, can we talk about it? Can we look at the whole picture?
Right.
And when you see the whole picture, you could go, oh, I get
People
it.
act with emotion all the time. They don't stop and analyze the situation. You know what I mean? Sometimes we are all human. We get mad, we get upset, we fuss, we fight. Sometimes we be in a bad mood, whatever. We don't allow each other anymore to calm down, to come back. We don't allow each other to say they sorry. We too egotistical to say we sorry. We don't allow that. We want to, somebody make us mad, we want to throw them away quick.
Right.
You know what I mean? We didn't used to be a generation of people like that. And that's what, and we already was damaged people as Black Americans.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that we should just do that. I think we need to practice cultural obligation and to, be more obligated to our culture and give people a chance to get mad. He got mad. All right. He has a right to be mad sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Give him a chance to look back and see, dang, did I did that wrong?
Right.
We don't do that. We want to exile people so quickly. And I think that's problematic.
Yeah, because as I explained to him and you and I talked, I said the only thing he did was he set the scenario up wrong. He was in the right way, he just set it up wrong. I said, hold up now, the average 4-year-old. Oh no, you gotta have.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what he did too. Now, I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you what he did. What he
All right.
did was he took he waited on a trigger word, and he took that to hype up his channel to click me off. You know what I mean? And people do, and I understand that as a blogger, people do things to hype up their channel. So when you really look at the video, he wasn't really paying attention to what I was saying. Then I said Glock. He's like, you said Glock. I was like, boy, if you don't sit your butt down,
Right.
you don't sit your behind down. You full of stuff. You just hyping up these crowd out here. Like, I don't know, but the crowd don't know he doing it.
Right.
I see you doing
Right.
it. You know what I mean? People do use all type of tactics to get to keep their audience and their check hyped up.
Right. But it was so cute. I ain't gonna lie, it was so cute. Then to hear you go, they treat me bad, Uncle Stu.
They treat me bad. They treat me bad, don't they?
You know, they treat me bad, Uncle Stu.
Look, and I'll be right back there. I'll be right back there. Right back. Yeah. I ain't giving up on them.
You know, but if everybody, moderators, make sure you got Spittin Fire's YouTube channel in the chat. And if you go there, you're going to see it says it in big bold letters. Love you, TLA. and I can show y'all a clip where he emailed me back. He was like, don't worry, Uncle Stu, I love Spittin Fire.
So I told people sometimes don't even get into YouTuber mess. Like subs, just sit back sometimes and just watch and see. Because on these internet streets, at 1 o'clock, you can be friends. At 2 o'clock, you can be enemies. That's just how people flip. You know what I mean? Because you don't know each other. You don't know when somebody's just having a bad day. You just don't know.
Right. Let me ask you something, because it's been kind of controversial. Is that happening in other places and we just don't see it and hear it? Or is it just us?
No, it's not just us.
Okay.
It's not just us.
Okay.
People, that's the misconception that we think. Because we more birate with our stuff. We more outspoken with our stuff. We take it to the extreme with our stuff. You know what I mean? But white YouTubers beef too.
Okay.
That's the misconception. They beef too. They talk crap too. They just more condescending. They do the condescending thing. On these YouTube streets, people will say, if they wanted to say, talk about your mama, they say, yo mama. You know what I mean?
Right.
But white people don't do like that. They don't fight like that. It's just different styles of fighting, but it's all fighting the same.
All fighting the same.
It's all fighting the same. It's just different styles.
Then I'm gonna ask this last question. I'm gonna see if anybody in the chat wants to. Do you want to take questions? Do you have time to take questions?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you gotta like run and go, let me tell y'all what Uncle Stu did to me. Y'all, no, I'll just mess. I want to go back to something because I think it would be healthy for people like myself. Sarhel Speaks, there's a couple other people that are YouTubers as well. How was you able to separate running your business and your platform, because you speaking like a businesswoman, and then being able to separate and say, okay, this is Spittin Fire, me. I gotta separate myself and be everybody other than Spittin Fire, and separate the YouTube politics, the social issues, and all of that to really have a healthy family. Because I see sometimes, and I'm going to even say it for me, I have to sometimes say, okay, you got to separate. You got to unplug. You just can't be on everybody's platform.
Yeah, I just said that. You the last one I said for a while that I was going to be on.
Right.
When you are a YouTuber, it's hard to do your platform and then guess on everybody else. It's hard. If you really research your stories, putting content together, putting your story together, it's really hard. And then you got to juggle your family life. The thing you have to do is, when you can't do a live, right? And you plan and you say, okay, I'm going to spend time with my wife today, okay? And you want to keep your channel active. So say, for instance, you going on vacation, right? You taking
Right.
the wife, your beautiful wife. I met her before backstage.
Yeah.
You go on vacation, right? I'm helping her out, girl. You going on vacation, right? I'm helping you out. I'm helping you out.
She gonna pop up in a minute.
I'm helping you
You
out,
see
girl.
brown eyes, she gonna pop up.
Yeah, well, I advocate for men's rights, but we still got to get together now.
The code,
I'm
yeah.
helping you out, but when you know that you got to spend time with your family and everything, instead of going live, I will do videos. And I
Okay.
will schedule them and upload. So when they're uploading, you can be off on vacation with your wife. You can schedule them by day. You can schedule, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of
Right.
work to do. I
Right.
will make them shorter than the live, much shorter. And I will
Right.
schedule them. So if you want 2 a day while you're going on vacation for a week, you see what I'm
Right.
saying? It's not about the views. The misconception is about the views. It's about keeping the channel active, because what you have to understand, as long as you have videos or live streams on your channel, the views will come whoever click it. So
Got
there are videos that I have that's a year or two old, and somebody just seeing it for the first time in 2022.
Got you.
You get what I'm saying? So you
Right.
never worry about that. You know what I'm saying now, because somebody can always go back and click that. So to keep the channel active, it keeps your channel in the algorithm. So when you
Okay.
go back live, yeah, that's how I do that. So a lot of times, and then sometimes I don't want to be on YouTube, period. I don't even want to do the video. Sometimes I just say, I'm turning the camera off. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm just putting this time for my family.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Well, I'm going to drop the link to the chat, and we are.
Welcome to the Emancipated Studio, where you are welcome to engage with guests and the panel. Please stay on topic and be respectful to our guests and panel. Be sure to have your camera on while in the back of the studio so that you may be verified by Uncle Stu, and then you may turn your camera off while participating on the panel. You have given up all rights to any footage and clips which can be used by Uncle Stu and his staff. Now please hit the link again and welcome to Uncle Stu's Emancipated Studio.
Isn't that professional?
Yes, it is. That is so professional. That is so professional. The voice is professional. Everything is professional.
Look, I'm about to change my intro because I'm about to make it a little bit shorter. You know, as you start learning stuff, it's like, okay, I got to make this shorter. Okay,
I know. I got this software, and I ain't never even had a chance or the opportunity to learn this stuff. I said, you know what? I'm gonna learn it as I go live. I'm gonna be clicking. And I do it as I go, because I have no time when I'm not on here. I don't be thinking about that software. I'll be watching my programs.
Look, people don't know because I am trying to get it scheduled. You know, I'm treating this as a business and not as a hobby.
Okay.
You know, because retired vet, so this is like YouTube is one part of my business. You know, real estate investors, the other part of my business. But it's so interesting on the many different facets of running a production.
Oh, so you do real estate?
Yeah. See, this is, you know, this is my partner right here.
Oh, okay, the international millionaire.
Intentional.
I thought it said international. Okay, intentional. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because here's my big thing about coming to YouTube. As a black male, I know what I've been through. You know, I've been through a lot of the sectors in my own life. You know, I've been through the red pill rage. I've been through, you know, all these different areas, and I'm in a position where I've did everything I needed to do in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. Now it's time for me to get back. This is one of the way I want to get back. Sometimes it's a struggle because you're sitting up there going, wait a minute now, you 20 and 30, You comparing your 2030 to, okay, and I gotta breathe like, okay, let me try to get further into what's going on. But then I'm realizing there's so much history that they don't know. And then some of their arguments is like, well, this is an old argument,
Right.
and you still haven't gotten a solution. Okay, this is an old argument. Or it's, oh, so you really don't know what happened in 92, 95. This.
Right.
It's like, so y'all never heard of Million Man March? Like, what
Nope.
y'all talking about over here is like, we talked about it in 95. So what, what in the world going on? And it's
They
just
never heard of Million Man March. They never even heard of the Trade Center now. So many decades that went
right,
past. A whole generation was born now.
right. Yeah, absolutely
And
right.
now they grown.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because it's funny that you say what you say when you said earlier about when you said, well, what about I'm trying to think how you worded that. How when you was talking about the kids, and you told them you could be anything you want to be, and the first thing that hit my head was, yeah, I remember they said you could be anything you want to be, but the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I always remember that, but so
But that
but
can't
that
be the president.
can't be the president. You ain't gonna be that now. You ain't even gonna get close. Yeah.
I just don't think we ever instilled that they had to work hard for it. I think, and that comes with a lot of other stuff. That comes with taking accountability. That comes just with everything. Just the basic of that comes with so much other stuff behind it. And they don't do that. We haven't taught them that. And but we thought it was a given because it was a given to us, but it wasn't. They had to be told every little step and every little emphasis on how to be. Like, you can be anything you want to be with hard work. You work hard at it, you strive for it, and then you can potentially get it and go on beyond. You see what I'm saying? You have to tell them that. You have to teach this generation to have self-esteem. You have to teach them that. That's why so many young people commit suicide, because I believe it's just the basis of self-esteem. Regardless of what you do, what you live in, like how you are, we haven't taught that. You have to tell them they have to love themselves. See, they came into the world smarter, but they're much weaker. And that's the issue.
I want you to talk about that word weaker, because for some, and I've seen it, I've been on the panels where you're not the first one I've heard say it. Give them an understanding, or give my channel, anybody that sees this video later on, explain that word weak, because that's a buzzword for a lot of young people. You tell them you're weak, and it's like they ready to fight.
They are mentally and emotionally weak. They're so much smarter than what we were. When we were born, we probably didn't open our eyes until we were 2 months old. When
Right.
they were born, they come out alert. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? They're answering their name even earlier. They know their name. By the time a baby is 6 months old, he knows what his name is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, they are much smarter and advanced than we are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Much smarter. But at the same time, they're weaker. They're more emotional. They want to be tended to. You can't talk to them this way or do things to them that way because they can't handle it. You know what I mean?
Right.
When things go, we were taught to pray and to do things like that. Well, that's not enough for them. You know what I'm saying? They want an instant fix or whatever. The struggle, they don't want no struggle of anything. With us, struggle made us stronger. You heard the thing,
You
what did
appreciate.
kill us didn't make us stronger. Well, what didn't kill them would eventually kill them, or they'll kill themselves because they're not strong enough to overcome it mentally or emotionally. Just like right now, I talk about men's rights right on my channel, right?
Right.
And a lot of the young people believe things without common sense. That's the part of making you weak.
Mm.
Because you don't use the brain cells to make logical sense of things. Someone can just tell you and they can chant some things and it sounds good at the moment, but they don't have the inkling to stop and think and be like, this doesn't sound right. If they say, yeah, he did that, or then he did that, and then that's it. And that is going to be damaging to the future. So damaging that they're going to run themselves into the river. You know what I'm saying? So that's problematic. And the law knows that. Just like this is why a lot of politicians or a lot of people with these organizations, they go to the colleges to recruit these kids because they're at the mind to where they just got out of high school, they come into adulthood, and you can tell them things. And they don't like accountability. We already know that. We established that. So anything that they make choices on, whether it's good or bad, they want to blame someone else for it because they don't want to take accountability for it. Well, we were taught that the choices you make, okay, you may have to live with it for the rest of your life. They are now being taught, if I make a choice, I don't have to live with it the rest of my life. I can blame somebody else because either I'm a woman or I'm too young or I'm too this. But that very same government that tells them that, or the organizations that tells them that, these kids, they will go out there, get themselves in a situation that government, for one, is not there, and for two, will put them, if it's a crime, will put them away and renege on everything that they pacified and told them that it was okay to be. Like it ain't never your fault. So they much weaker. You know what I mean? They don't take accountability for anything. And that is problematic. That's problematic with our youth today. With young people too. That's anybody over the age of 30, under the age of 35, I probably even say 40. That's problematic. They don't take no accountability. Not at all.
You know, you've really, and I salute you. You really put vocabulary to some of the things that I've seen. My question now would be, I always have the argument, help me help you so that I can help the community.
Right.
How and what how do you what do we do? What do we do to bring, if you want to say, take them out of that cognitive dissonance? What do we do on our platform to teach them how to think again?
The thing of it is go back to, first of all, I think that we need to let them know that they're loved. First of all, you let them know that off the rip, but they have to have self-esteem, and they have to be strong enough to understand that you make some bad choices, you have to live with those. It ain't nobody else's fault. Sometimes it's yours. You know what I mean? And it's okay to make some bad choices some of the times. And if you can live through it and you can overcome it, it's okay. And it's a learning lesson. You don't have to end yourself because you made a bad choice. And that could be a problem. So
do you think that's one of the because being a men's advocate and standing up for my brothers, I see two sides of this quote relationship, and I don't really like going down a relationship alley, but I'm gonna go there only for this moment. Do you think that's one of the reasons why we're having this explosion when it comes to male-female relationships? Because one of the things that I say to women is, ladies, you may hate Kevin Samuels, you may hate the red pill, you may hate this, but all these men is talking like we was back in 1995. Like this is not new conversation.
no.
And it's hard for me to get them to understand this is not new conversation. I've watched whether people like his politics or not, the judge, Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas, you know, and what happened with that. That was like opening for a lot of people. What happened in 97 when you had the Million Woman March? People don't know that Angela Davis went against the Million Man March. You know, it's like we was watching this stuff as it was progressing.
Right. We always had this issue I'm actually gonna do a breakdown of that. I think with us as a people, I think that the breakdown between, I don't know if this is what you're asking me, but I'm hoping I'm on
Right.
topic. The breakdown between the man and the woman in relationships and everything, I think it all falls apart with our faith.
You're not the first
And
person to
with our
say.
faith. And I think because regardless of what people say, regardless of whether you're a believer or non-believer, the one thing that Black people used to be, we used to be some strong faith-based people. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim, it doesn't matter if you're Catholic, whatever denomination you were.
Right.
We were strong in it. And the infiltration of that faith was what I think stemmed a lot of things. And I think that the alternative seen a way through that. And in order for them to have some rights and them to be able to do some things, they wanted to kill what was traditionally done.
Okay.
And insert themselves in it and whatever. And people would tell you and make you feel bad and tell you that is this and is that. But these are conversations that have to be had and it's realistic.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so and then we're fighting that. What you can and what you can't say. You know, another blogger just did a piece on Adele, and she was under attack because she said she loved being a female singer. She loved being a woman.
Right.
They attacked her for saying that.
Why?
Because of what society is trying to force us to be gender neutral. But the reality is we're not. We're not.
Talk to my chat about that, because I know you spoke on this on your channel.
We're not. You're physically stronger than me. You are a male. I'm a woman. We have different, you know what I'm saying? Biology in our anatomy is different for a reason. I didn't make it that way. You didn't make it that way.
Right.
They didn't make it that way. Why are we arguing over something that we don't have any control over?
Right.
But you're not going to tell me and you, other than the culture, is the same in sports. Like, I'm not going to be a female boxer and get in the ring with you. Your hands are bigger. You're stronger. With what?
Right.
I don't want your fist on this face. What? I thought we were going to do a cat fight. I thought it was going to scratch and something. What the heck? You know what I'm saying? So I think I think that we as society are not getting involved, particularly us as this culture. We're not getting involved, and that's going to be a problem. We talk, but we don't do a lot of work. And I think now they're going to force us to do it.
Let me ask you this, because I'm going to go down that hole because you opened the door. So I'm going to step in. How do you fight? And let's put it out there. Feminism is no longer the 1970s, 80s feminism, because now your feminism, and when I say yours, I'm just speaking in the general.
Yeah,
your feminism has to include the alphabet city.
Yes.
I don't think everybody understands that. And if you're not including the alphabet, and let me make it real clear for the people in the back. I'm taking away 3 of those alphabets. If you don't include that T and Q alphabet, your movement can't go nowhere.
Mm-mm.
And I don't think everybody, when we talk about feminism, I don't think everybody understands that. Like if I say, I'm gonna feel like this, I'm gonna pretend I ain't getting monetized on this live. I can't just boldly say I'm a heterosexual Black male. That can be construed as being discriminatory.
And that there is problematic.
Right.
Because You want to take my identity and what I know my pronoun to be and what I've accepted for all these years and erase it for some special interest groups.
Right.
That is problematic. And I think that there is for us as people to be concerned. But I've often talked about how that was an issue where I seen it like 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And I said, they're getting rid of us. Because I'm a registered, now I will open to say it. I'm a registered Democrat, but I have not been happy with the Democrats. I
Look, you
haven't
better
voted
come
for
on.
them the last
Look,
time.
me and Trash Can't Wait. We got jokes. Come to the right side. Come to
I have not been happy with the Democrats lately, but the problem with that is a lot of us black people thought that if we vote Democrat, we always gotta vote it. No, you do not. If it's going against your livelihood and your culture, you don't have to do that. If that particular Democrat is going against everything that the other Democrats used to do that you did support, has put in stone, you can go over that one and go to whatever candidate that is going to do best for you. I think that's the problem because I struggle with that. I just came out of that shell last year. I struggle with that, even with my family. I was told to be a Democrat. If you're going to be a Democrat, if you're in this house, you're going to be a Democrat here, you Democrat there. I didn't know. I didn't even take the time to know what's the difference between the Democrat and the Republican.
I'm gonna to give you some breath. My family's always been political, so I kind of grew up, and New York is a very political city anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of my shifting started in the early 90s in the sense of, I don't know if you remember Ross Perot when he was running and
yeah,
this is my independence.
Yes.
But it was because of him that I really took the deeper dive into politics, understanding personality over policy.
Mm-hmm.
Where I shifted was when I really began taking a deep dive into numbers. And then I didn't own a business back then, but I began to have like hints and ideas of business and what was going on. And what I saw shifting was, here you have, and I ain't gonna lie, it was Newt Gingrich that kind of woke me up.
Mm-hmm.
You say, I know he got his issue, but it was him that kind of like bang, because here was the argument, and the argument was real simple. Who should control you, big government or little government? And I'm making in that small, real simplistic. Then he went into, and this was right around the Million Man March, when Newt became Speaker of the House. We really became hardcore conservative in 1995.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna speak for black men, but a lot of us as black men, we couldn't say nothing. You know why? We was called Uncle Tom, sellout. You it is.
Point.
We was fiercely, and we kept saying to people, hey y'all, they're killing you. Excuse me, they're hurting you.
Right.
They don't have your interest. And it was like, no, da 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 da.
Because we were taught that. Yeah. Like we were taught, for some reason, I don't know who put that out there, that black people have to be Democrats. I don't know. Somehow somebody put that in my family. I don't understand, but I was always understanding why I was struggling. Like I was at work, and I worked in a union environment, and they were heavy Democrat, but I didn't understand why I was always combative with these people. Like why we just never bump heads. We bump heads all the time. And then there was some viewpoints I just never aligned with. And it wasn't until like last year or the year before, I'm like, I don't see these points. I never saw these points. And I struggled, but I couldn't say it because in my house, even at my age, my mother still would look at me funny. You know what I mean? That's just a subject we would not even talk about. I just have to do what I want to do. But we don't have to be one party. There is some conservative Black people, and it's okay. You're not an Uncle Tom. You're not an Uncle Tom if you a Democrat, a Republican, the working class, independent, Green Party, whatever party you want to be is your right. Now that there is something that we should have the freedom to do, but they didn't do that.
Well, see what it was, and I've been advocating and arguing, but I'm gonna start putting it on a platform. I'm gonna start putting it on this one. The whole thing is, and this is how I tell people, know who your core value is and vote in that common sense way. So you know that your core value is God, family, and that's it. Why are you voting for a party that isn't doing that? Then I tell people, go back 25 years. And this is where I want people to do their own research. Find out when the prison pipeline started. And the same person that signed that prison pipeline now just gave you $30 million more to go buy some crack pipes.
Somebody speaking some truth on here. Somebody speaking truth on the block, y'all. Somebody speaking truth on the block.
Right. Go back under that same party and let me add a little icing on the cake. Even when the Black man had 8 years of it, find out how many of these African American men that people was advocating with Black Lives Matter, when was they all taken out?
You know what? Here's the thing. It wasn't even that. I'm gonna do it. I don't want to talk too much because I'm doing a breakdown.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give too much away. And I'm putting that in my breakdown.
I feel like they give 1% just to do the taste buds.
But I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you this. I will say this. Black people voted for this party because they thought that it was going to be better for them, right? But there was another interest group that came in with more money. Okay? They came in with a lot more money and they had your votes forever. They threw you to the back. Your president.
Oh, don't forget
he got in office. Now, here's, and let me tell you, if you are a Democrat, I was the one who had a shirt that says Trump is not my effing president. I was the reason what makes me see what I see is not that I'm changing sides. I did investigation being a blogger, researching being a blogger, and I had to come to the realization it's the party that I was with. I had to swallow that.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me to do. This man, we're not going to go back that far. Let's go to 2020. When he became 2021. When he became president, he went on a tour in the middle of a pandemic that had nothing to do with Black people. It had something to do with the community, the alphabet community.
This is an inside joke. I told you I'm in the real estate, right? Okay. You know, Trump is a realtor person, right? So you know the taxes benefited the real estate. It was like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he a real estate person. You and Trump see eye to eye. Like, yeah.
You're like, how about that? Like, how you doing up there? But yo, like the tax benefits.
But you know what, though? And even if you was.
Right.
What I was so pissed at the Democrats. I was like, I can't stand this party no more. Like, I can't believe I've been a Democrat all this time. These people will complain about the Republicans doing X, Y, Z. They'll get in there and will not change it. They'll say all that stuff on the campaign on what they're going to do. Soon as they get in there, they don't do nothing. Like, just like he talking about some, like, the wall, okay? He got in there. Oh, I'm not going to tear down the wall. You done taught all these people. That was the first thing you was going to doggone do. You know, I wouldn't even be, if I was a Democrat, I'd be mad at them people right about now.
Let me ask you this, because one of the things that there's a lot of things I'm starting to do on this platform, so I'm able to look at certain things and train Black people in business. And you and I come from that generation where we was watching Ebony on one side, Black Enterprise on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still not pushing business. Is it because we've been stuck into the socialism, meaning waiting on government, or we haven't realized that now? This is how I'm looking at today, and I look at YouTube. We finally got the mic, which we didn't have back in the 80s. We finally got the mic.
Yes. Yes. You know, I think that, you know, the business part of it is, I think that I do believe that business is going to grow in the Black community. I really do think that. I just think and hope that the Black community literally take CSM, you know, customer service management, seriously. That is the key to Black business and the failures of it. If they take the CSM really seriously, I really think that they could really be part of our, you know what I'm saying, New York Stock Exchange, the economy. I really do think that we can really push that. I really do. Because you got to remember, there was a whole city here in Detroit, you know what I'm saying, it's used to be called the Black Bottom, where we used to have nothing but Black businesses, and they're trying to put them back where they're giving business loans to Black business owners to, you know, start their business. The thing of is that we want to market only to us.
Oh Lord, you're about to get me attention, a millionaire, and we ain't side. We about to explode on that one. Go ahead, give it to them.
We don't think of global marketing.
Bingo. Yeah.
And unfortunately, although we are 11% of the population and we do run the economy, we have the mindset of helping others than our own. We don't trust our own. So we have to build, then this is where cultural obligation come in. We have to build that. And then we have to think of generational wealth. Because one of the things that we do is that we can get something that's so good and then turn around and we will sell it. We don't think of generations down the line. We need to start keeping our businesses. They don't sell under no circumstances.
That's the key. And I'm gonna tell you why he spoke. So we spoke about this just 30 days ago, that I was like, man, I'm trying to keep the money with us, but this is what's happening. He says, Uncle Stu, because we keep treating business as a hobby and there is no customer service on the other side of that. And that is the thing that I have been trying to do on this panel is, are you receiving the service that I'm trying to provide? And if not, tell me what I'm missing so I can study. The struggle I have on the platform is not the topics. It's not the conversation. It's the learning curve and knowing how to operate all the equipment I got to operate.
Yeah.
You know, to do the edits.
And keeping up, and you have to sit up there and upgrade, knowing when to upgrade and knowing when. See, the thing about the YouTube business, if you're going to make this a business, is you have to know when to take it to the next plateau. If you stay stagnant for so long, you will fail. You will fall. You have to know when to elevate your business at the next level. And there's no rules for that. It's just like you just have to know. Like you have to really research your analytics and you have to really know. You know what I mean? Like it's time for me to grow. It's time for me to invest in something else. It's time for me to do this. It's time for me to do that. Like I have a whole studio right here, but I know eventually I'm gonna have to upgrade. after a couple years, I'm gonna have to upgrade. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do that. You have to do that. You have to put money back into your business. We have to invest back into our business. The thing of it is, you're not supposed to treat your business like a hobby. You're supposed to have passion for your business like a hobby, but running it
Mhm.
like a business. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
we know we highly passionate about our hobbies. When you do something as a hobby, you'll do it for free because you love doing it so much. So the
Right.
feeling of how you feel about your hobby should be you should put into your business and
Right.
run that as professional as you can, and you will see so much growth. You see what I'm saying? You will see so much growth because you should love what it is you're doing as if it was a hobby.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Because then you will see your, you know what I'm saying, rewards from that.
Right.
It's nothing like doing something you're passionate about and love, and then you benefiting from it. There's nothing like it. That's the best job in the house. The worst thing is to go to a job, you working for someone else, and you just getting by and you hate doing it, or you even hate doing it.
Right.
So if you
Right.
in a situation to where you can actually literally take this business, love it like a hobby, run it as professional as you can, you're gonna sit up there and you're gonna rip the benefits, and it's gonna be some good benefits.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. And really my frustration isn't even the business. Of course I got the learning curve, and it's like, okay, I gotta learn how to really do this and really do it. And it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoy even the struggle of the learning.
Yeah, so you're gonna be good. You're gonna be fine. You know what I mean? I see a lot of YouTubers that the problem what they do is they stay right where they are. And I'm even struggling with that. Like, okay, I've got to this point. What's my next level? Like, what is next? What I gotta change something. I gotta do something. You know what I mean? Because you gotta people steady change.
Let me
Because you
ask
gotta think
you,
it's new YouTubers and it's always competition.
I'm gonna ask you the question on the competition, but do you think the change is now you gotta hire people to start taking things off of you? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I have now, I'm not paying them right now, but I've asked two people that I know do video edits. One is a little bit closer to me than the other to do video edits. And I said, what I need from you is I need a real honest look at how much a video editor is for me to have you as a 1099. And they gave me a price. And I said, if I'm able to build to that budget, that would take so much off of me where I can just sit here, do a good voiceover. You say, send it to them, let them do all that. And it gives me more time to, hey, read, study, do the research. Because I don't want to be somebody that just gets on and just regurgitates emotional
I
garbage.
think when you start having that, I think that you should make sure the revenue and everything aligns with that.
Right.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? You don't want to pay out stuff and you don't reap the benefits to it to 5 years from now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And
I will personally say, let it pay for it, whatever it is you need. Whatever it is you need, let your channel pay for it. When your channel get there and it can pay for it, then that's when you know. You know what I'm
gotcha.
saying? That's
Now,
when you know. So
helping
that
with
go ahead.
helping with this mindset. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
Um, with this mindset, and this is something that at times I do struggle with. You sit there and you look at your analytics. You sit there, you done did this live. You sit there, you done gave this information, or you done had this interview, and then you look at the numbers because I look at the numbers and you go, that person had 35K sitting on this, but the topic was garbage. And you like,
Yeah.
I
Because
gave it.
people like garbage. People
Okay.
like garbage. People like garbage. Women like men. Really, you got to be. If you know you a super handsome man, you're gonna get money. Women like that. Women like women. I noticed that women, a lot of women, and some men, they don't support a lot of women content creators,
Mm-hmm.
but they will support the man. They will support, and if he's young and he's attractive, or even if he's older and attractive, they will support him. That's just how it is. Like, you have to be, that's the difference between this culture and the other culture. White people, they will support good content. Black people, unfortunately, will not. They support BS and men that's looking good. That's it.
And
If
that's
you as a man if you a model looking man, if you this type of man, you got a suit on and you giving the women that you're single and you don't have this, the women throwing money at you. They throwing it at you because in their head, they live in this fantasy that you're giving them. And you ain't giving them nothing but some BS content.
You said sports debate. I don't agree with that strategy. Can you give clarity on the strategy? What are we talking about? If they do support, it's a matter of time they want to start.
Pap.
Oh, yeah, because I'm like, okay, I'm confused. All right. If they do support, it's a matter of time that they want to start whispering in your ear. Okay. I'm waiting to get a clarity on this one because I don't know if he was talking in the chat. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of lost. Hold on, let me see. He's back up here. And I usually don't do a lot of, I'm like you, I don't do a lot of reading in the chat. Facts. Even with YouTube, too many content creators simply look at their YouTube channel as hobbies or something fun to do on the side when they actually legitimate businesses that can be, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
what we said.
Yeah.
That's what we said. I don't know what he's disagreeing with. That's what we were saying. That's what we said.
You know, I tell you, how do you, okay, now for your content, you would define it more. Now I know you do a lot of the R. Kelly stuff, but for your content is also news based. Do you find news based to be easier to do, or is just something you like to do versus other content versus, because like you got news stories, you got, the manosphere, you got now they got this new group showing up, the woman sphere, it's you got I guess Adolf's got their little section.
I think when I do my content, I do everything. You know what I'm saying? I do kind of everything. It's nothing I wouldn't talk about. I do celebrity gossip. I do specific, groups like, specific topics like R. Kelly. I do charity. I do political. I do everything. I have a little touch of comedy in there. You know what I mean? I do everything. I don't want to, because one of the things is hard is if you talk about a specific subject, you talk about a specific subject all the time, it's hard to get out of it because your audience will want to hear that all the time.
Right.
But if I just throw some of each and everything at you, you don't know where to go. You don't know what. Let me tune into what she gonna say today. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because it's hard. Like when I was in the kill sector, but I'm out as of a month ago. But it was hard getting out. It was hard transitioning because everyone that was in the kill sector was all like basically going to the kills, channels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was the same people. It wasn't no growth a lot in there. So I had to get out of that sector to go back to the popular sector. And I seen so much growth because not only when they came back I came back out there, they got to learning the truth that they didn't know, they wasn't aware of, information, stuff like that. So I don't want to be stuck like that again.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? I had a girlfriend who's she has a channel and she was doing a story on Nature Boy. Somebody called Nature Boy. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know who
And
that
she
is.
was young folks. I don't even try to figure it out. But she was having that same issue. She did so much of that content that her audience only wanted to see that. So her numbers and views were so sky high when she would do it. But then if she talk about something else, it would be minimum. Because they only wanted her to do that. She's like, I'm sick of it. I'm like, you can get stuck. If your audience, if you get an audience and you touch on something and they like your content on that, you can get stuck there. And that's what a lot of YouTubers, that's what a lot of YouTube content creators don't tell you. You can get stuck there. So it's good to change.
So help me. Okay, because I'm starting to see something now. So you're saying the reason I may see a particular content creator, and you're like, okay, you've been doing this for like 2-3 years. Why haven't you moved on? It's because in actuality, their core audience or people won't allow them to move on.
Right. And if they do something else, they're not feeling that. They want you to, it shows in the analytics. They want you to do what they want you to do. And it's a burnout for the content creator at that point. It's a burnout for us at that point, but the audience want to hear that. Like for many times, the people wanted to hear about R. Kelly. They didn't want to hear nothing about nothing else. I can talk about news that's going on right now. A man could sit up there and be holding people hostage in the bank because he'd be a bank robber. They could care less. They want me where they used to be being and where they want their story from. They want it from you, especially if you're good at delivering that story. They want it from you. So if you, like, say for instance, hypothetical, if you talk about politics and you get a group of people who love to talk about politics and they like your story and your content on politics, or when you come at them with new what's going on in politics and they like the way you deliver your content, they coming to you for that. Like they're coming to you for that. And if you say, okay, well, today I'm gonna talk about Kanye West, they gonna be like, views gonna be all the way down, like we don't want to hear that. And then you're like, okay, wait a minute, guys, I want to talk about something different. They not trying to hear that.
And I agree with we ain't signing. Industry dictates service. The service do not control the industry. Based on your experience, what would you tell, seeing what you see and knowing what you knowing? So then you would say it is for a young content creator, kind of pick 3 different areas and kind of already blanket 3 different ways of talking and just be okay with small numbers versus trying to be the next podcast who had 1 million subscribers or 500,000 subscribers, etc.
It's like just like even like Kwame even went through that. You know, he has a big platform. He talked about it on his. He went through that. When he first came out, he was talking about coding and trading. They only wanted him to talk about coding and trading. He would have people on his platform talking about something else, and they was like, okay. He even had to check some people. They was like, we want to talk about coding and trading. Like they want you to be where they want you at. And that's something you don't want to get stuck at.
Gotcha. Because
you want to change up so you won't get stuck there.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna drop the link, and if nobody comes up, I'm letting Spittin Fire go back home to her family.
Okay.
And tell your daughter I said, hey.
Okay, I sure will.
You let her know Big Uncle's still in the house.
Uncle Stu is in the house. Okay, we're on the block. On the block. The block is on fire.
Yeah. But if anybody want to come up, speak to Spittin Fire, ask a question, anything like that. Lucchese, I agree. Kwame Brown blew up when the drama started. And let's go to that. I don't like talking about Kwame. Let me be real clear. I don't like talking about people when they're not here to
defend themselves.
You know, I don't want to throw Kwame Brown's name out there. I'm just talking about for me, because people use it to feed themselves. I I ain't gonna lie. It's like at Kwame Brown. Oh yeah, we're gonna eat tonight. You know, let me say something stupid to Kwame
No,
Brown. We
I
gonna eat.
wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying his channel blew up. See that
Right.
that's not what I was saying. What I was saying is when you start talking about a topic
Okay.
that people like you to talk about, they want you to talk about that. I'm not talking about him blew up drama. That's not what I was saying. What I specifically said was when he got to talking about coding and trading,
Right.
there were people on his platform only wanted him to talk about coding and trading. And he had to let them know that I'm not talking about that today. I'm not talking about when his channel blew up. I'm just talking about specifically when he was talking about coding and trading.
Got you.
Right.
Got you. We ain't signing itch.
How you doing, Uncle Sue? How's everybody?
What's going on, sir?
Hi.
Hello, Spittin Fire. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the kind of business aspect where we're talking about we're talking about our clientele, customers, and in this case for you guys, your viewers, right? So my whole thing is this, because I'm also in business, right? Every time you try to educate the market, you're going to lose money. So why not just give them what they want, right? Because at the end of the day, we're here to serve the clientele. So if they want the drama and we're trying to build businesses, then why not?
So you say if they want the drama, just start going out and just start talking some crap, and then you just get it because you want the money.
Well, I mean that's an extreme example, but I'm just saying, like where you said like they try to pigeonhole you and things like that. Because I've talked to Uncle Sil about this multiple times. Like me and maybe one other person I know, we have businesses where 100% of our clientele are not black, not like us, right? Like my clientele is 100%. Well, in China, I'm in China, Shanghai, China. 100% of my clientele is Chinese. 100%, because obviously I'm in Shanghai, China, right? So doing business globally, and they want things how they want things, right? Like every time I tried to change it up or educate the market, I lost money, and they want things how they want things. And so I just think that, as business people, when you're doing business, there are ethical decisions you're going to have to make, right? Are you in it to build a business, or are you in it to save the people? And I had this conversation with Uncle Sue before. A lot of times we as Black people, we want to make our business our social justice fight, right? Our business is our marker for our social justice fight. And of my opinion, and I would love to hear yours, but I think we kind of do a disservice on that, right? I think we should just get the money, like you said, generational wealth, pass it down to our children, right? Because I mean, I'll be frank, right? Like I studied in mainstream PWI. My mindset is money first. Like I'll be honest, that is where I'm at. Money first, position, power, and privilege. So, but I just want to know, what do you think as far? Because I mean, you're going to have to make that ethical decision.
You're going to have to make it. The ultimate goal for any business is money. There is nothing else. You know what I'm saying? If anybody tell you that is something else, they lying. It is money. It is. It really is. But here's the thing. Let me give you an example. Okay. Let me give you an example. I work in the auto industry, right? I worked in the auto industry for a long time, and they change cars over, right? All the time. They change them. They're trying to go from, of course, they're trying to push this electronic cars, you know what I'm saying? Hybrid cars. They're trying to push it so we can get away from gasoline. They're trying to push it. So I said that to say that even though you're in it for money and your audience may want you to do something, you still have to grow, because the audience at that time, you have to know when to change. You have to be ahead of the game on change. If you stay stagnant because the money is good, then what will happen if somebody else come along with something totally different and your audience like it? and then they go over
Right.
there. Because one of the things about being on YouTube is that these people there's no loyalty.
Right.
It's
Absolutely
not
not.
unlike the automotive industry. You got at least some people that are brand loyal.
Right.
However, on these YouTube streets, there is no loyalty. You got people that love to rock with you, but if somebody else say something and they like the way that person say and they caught their attention, they will drop you like a hot potato and run right over there with them, like they have never did anything wrong.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
make your
I hear you.
money, but you have to know when to change.
No, I agree with you on that. No, okay, maybe maybe it's my part. I didn't communicate it well. I'm not saying don't grow, but I mean I think there's a difference between growing, offering disruptive services, and changing as opposed to educating. So, like, say for example, growing in the gossip to the tea sector, right? Absolutely, you want to grow in that, but it's still the tea sector. You see what I'm saying? As
Right.
opposed to being like, okay, guys, you know what? We really should be on this pro-black thing right here, and let's all focus on that. You know, like there's a difference between growing in your sector, offering disruptive services, or coming up with a new form of delivering, because you're in media, delivering your content to the people, versus switching gears into another industry and kind of forcing people to say, you know, we should care more about this than the tea sector. You see what I'm saying?
You have to know your audience too. You know,
Right,
everybody
absolutely.
right. Everybody audience is different. Everybody target audience is different. Like
Right.
with
'Cause
me,
I also used
I
to-
was blessed.
'cause I know what
I
you
was I was blessed to get out of mine to be able to have a very diverse analytics and target market, where I have some people that come in. If I'm talking about this, they will come in. If I'm talking about that, they will come in, or whatever. But what I was just simply saying was, if it works, of course you're going to work it to your advantage. I mean, you would be crazy not to. However, there are still certain things to where change is good. So, but you have to sometimes you have to introduce your audience into things. Sometimes you know what I'm saying? They don't sometimes know if they like it or not. You have to introduce it, and you don't just spring it on them. You know what I mean? You kind of slowly, scoot on in there or whatever when it's necessary. But see, timing is everything, and knowing when it's time to do that. You get what I'm saying? So if you stay ahead of the game, what everyone else is doing or whatever, not just seeing what they're doing, but seeing who out here and stand on top, you should be fine. You would know when to change, when to, you should talk about something different, or if it works, it works. Just like the gamers, they in the gaming industry, right? They sit up there like Geeks and Gamers. I don't know if you watch them, but I love Geeks and Gamers. They sit up there. I do. They sit up there but then you got Jeremy over there, and he will stop sometimes and he will talk about social issues. You see what I'm saying? So he incorporated that into his gaming.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So if you go over there and see, you know exactly what I'm saying. I hope I'm saying it correctly, but he incorporated that to his game, and like, wow. So now he got people like me. I don't even play video games, but I go over there on specific nights to see what he's talking about tonight, because now he's grabbing a different audience other than just gamers.
Yeah. Was you here earlier? We ain't signing because this is the one that when you said that, I said, and you see me cheer, it was because this is also he's also part of my mastermind group. Was you here earlier? We ain't signing when she talked about black business, and that we need to understand it needs to be global.
Yeah, I heard that.
I didn't know if you caught it, but yeah, and just to give you some back channel on that Spittin Fire. One of the things that we ain't signing always talks about, especially when it comes from black business minds, is that black people seem to set up business for social justice issues and not for, hey, let's go get this money wherever we can get this money. Okay, if you want to put 5-10% of your business after you done made this money, it's just fine, you do that, but you better have 90% be about making.
Look, you got to be making your money. It shouldn't be on social justice issues. You can donate to charity for that and get a write-off and keep on doing your business.
Right.
I mean, personally, that's what I take. I wouldn't use my business, especially my startup, on any social justice business. I wouldn't even want to probably even touch on that for the first 5 or 10 years or anything like that, because of the simple fact is I'm in a startup. You know what I mean? And I want to get my foot off the ground, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with staying free from controversial issues while you're in a startup. You know what I'm saying? We just feel for some reason that we should or be, I don't know if it's because we're emotional. You know what I mean? And we incorporated that in our business, and it has no place in that. You know what I mean? It has no place in that. Get your money, do your business, grow your business, and everything else. There's many tons of charities around the world that you can donate to once you make it. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in this social justice, if you believe in the Innocence Project, if you believe in breast cancer, if you believe in anything, you can just write them a check. Here you go. You know what I mean? And you supported them. That's basically what they want anyway, your money.
Well, no, I mean, I get it. I'm just saying I know why we do it, right? Because the way we're treated in the US and things like that. So I get why it's like that, because it's stressful to be Black in America. It's just stressful, right?
And
so
this
I
supposed to be
get
the
it.
land of the free. What is you talking about? We're not stressed. We are in love. We kumbaya. What is you talking about? We have no issues in America. No, we don't have no issues in America.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, because I come home once every 3 years, something like that. And man, like after the first month, I could just start feeling the stress and the Black tax just be pounding on you. Because like, don't get it wrong, like there's prejudice and racism here, but not like back home. Back home, it is perfection. Racism is perfection over there. And you just like after a good month and a half, you just feel it. So I get why we because you need to express, you need to let that out, right? I get it, but I just don't think you need to let it out in your business, right? You got to let it out in other forms. But I mean, I get it. I just think that, right now we have the opportunity to do something amazing, something special, and we need to be able to do it like the Chinese did it, right? Or the Japanese, because I used to sell Toyotas, right? I used to sell Toyotas right after college for a little bit. And you know what I mean? Like Toyotas came into the market. They didn't focus on selling to Asians. They came over and sold to everybody, right? And then they slowly built the brand loyalty. So you know what I mean? And I was there when the first electric car was Prius, and now you have the hybrid Camrys and all that. So I know exactly what you mean by that. But at the end of the day, I just think we need to have more people telling Black people to have businesses that market and sells to everyone, because I think that's the number one reason why
that's
a lot
the number
of Black
one
businesses
thing.
fail.
That's the number one. I mean, it's okay to have your platform for what you wanted if it's not you not trying to do it as a business or if it's a hobby. But for those of you, us or you or whoever who wants a business or whatever, I wouldn't get involved and just rely on social justice or any other controversial topic. I will actually run my business. Now, my channel is controversial, but I came out here controversial. You know what I mean? I came out here spitting fire on people. Whatever. That's what I do. But I don't think I don't preach that for you though. I don't
right, but you can have two channels
because like your business.
Because like for example, right? Uncle Stu, if Uncle Stu came out with a motivational gospel channel, like when he did his walks and stuff like that, and motivating and using scripture and stuff like that, I guarantee you in 6 months, Uncle Stu will have at least 30,000 subscribers. I promise you that. And I tell him over and over, hey, start a second channel, motivation and scriptures, where you're walking and you're motivating people, right? Because for two reasons, both nowadays, because of the single parenthood in America is mainstream, it's no longer a Black thing. A lot of boys and men of all races need that male energy.
And you know what?
I'm telling you, you do that, you get
I had to get one channel established before I can go.
You just do two. Just do two at the same time.
I'm trying to get another channel, actually. I'm trying to. I'm just lazy. But what I'm saying is self-help and how to, you will make a killing.
Yeah. It's killing. I'm telling you, Uncle Stu.
You make
if you just
killing.
All you need to do is just do your walks and do your encouragement and scripture and answer some questions in the comment section. That's low production, right? It doesn't take a lot. You'll be good. You'll be good in 6 months. You'll be doing 50K. Promise you. Promise.
There's a lady. There's a lady. She's and I look at her channel and I be like, why didn't I think of this? Like, why didn't I think of this? And you are absolutely right. We ain't signing. You are absolutely right. Because this lady, she's a plus size woman, right? And she does try on hauls. She does hauls all
Yep.
day. And within like 6 months, she had 100,000 subscribers.
Yep. Because my background before I started my business in China, my background was to bring American brands to China. So I don't have expertise in finance. I have expertise in operations, right? And I know good business ideas and things like that when I see it. And I'm telling you, like my job is to set up the operation, marketing, sales, overhead, P&L management, stuff like that. And I'm telling you right now, because the conditions are perfect for it, right? You have people staying in more than ever before. You have the pandemic spreading again, right? People are more lonelier than ever. They need motivation. People are high on antidepressant drugs. Motivation and self-help is huge right now, more than it ever been, just because of the external factors that's pushing to that. So
Right.
you know what I mean? So, but I told Uncle Stu, I'm on record. I told him.
And we believe it or not, we ain't signing. I am doing that. I'm getting that type of content together. I'm just trying to get all of the back channel stuff squared away so I can flow the way it needs to flow. You know, managing time, managing finance, you know, producing the right kind of content and just trying to make it look professional. I'm trying to step up the game and make it really look more professional. So trust and believe everything you said. I got it in the book and
Right.
trying to get it out, you know, trying to get it out. So it's definitely coming. You know, I'm dealing with, you know, time management. And when I say time management, I'm talking about as an actual course, you know, teaching people time management, you know, and you know, operating, thinking as a business owner, not as a hobbyist, you know, putting together the management skills, taking my bumps, my lumps, and knowing how to do it. I do recognize, at least for my audience, you know, that I can see, one, they love me doing these interviews. You know, I know that that's a big thing. I've heard so many people say, you're the only one that has a peaceful platform where people can come and have an intellectual conversation. And it's hard sometimes to get, say, a bigger YouTuber to want to come down and talk to somebody that got the numbers that I have.
You
know,
never know. And see, that's the thing. Like, you can have the YouTube streets is really tricky. You can have small numbers now, and you can blow it past somebody who was bigger than you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So these YouTubes is crazy. So I go on anybody platform who has something to say. I'm not one of those people. You don't have this many subscribers. I'm not going. If we can have a good conversation on the screen, I'm all for it. Because you never know who gonna go back and look at that, or how many people will go back and look at it. You never know that.
Right. And I just love talking. I mean, when I say talking, like learning, We Ain't Signing was my first interview.
Ah.
And the wealth of information, I put it like this. I can go back on that interview and make a bunch of 10-minute clips because this is the reason why my business is called Stu One International Network, because it was because of him. You know, when I talk to people now, I say, I don't have, you know, I've been telling everybody, I don't have a black business. I have a business. I just happen to be black. You know what I'm saying?
You know, somebody else said that. Somebody said that to me just a few days ago. They was like, I wish we would stop putting black on ourselves. Like, stop saying we part of black YouTube or we part of black this. Make them stop telling that to you. You just a business person. Because in order for you to be accepted in the mainstream, you putting yourself in a category.
Right.
Right. And see, that's the thing. And this is the last point because I have to rush out. So this is the point, right? So let's look at Kevin Samuels. Regardless of how you hate him or love him, whatever, right? You have the manosphere and then you have the black manosphere. The manosphere came mainstream when a black man, a black person, started to started to set up his platform and stuff like that. Majority of the talking points now in the main manosphere comes from black manosphere, and I think we need to stop doing that. We just need to say it's whatever your business is. People will look around and say, okay, these are done by black people, because we have all, especially in the media realm, we have always been the thought leader, we have always been the tastemakers, and we always have been the disruptive factors. We need to just say, you know what, this message is for everybody. You know, we can be black in our politics, we can be black in our relationships, we can be black in our community, but we dang sure need to be agnostic and get in that bag. Right? You give me that bag, just like everybody else do it. Chinatown, right? Got my restaurant, stuff like that. Everybody's welcome. But in my community, relationships, whatever, we Chinese, we Asian. And we need to do the same thing. I think black people have a message that's going to benefit everybody worldwide. And thank you, Uncle Stu. It was nice talking to you. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
All right. Tack Williams.
What's up, Uncle Stu?
Now Spittin Fire, let me let you know.
Stop, man. Stop.
When you and I wake up about 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe 6, we run to the coffee pot, get our little coffee, and figure out where we go. Tack, he done made about $500 in about 10 minutes. And then he got to be a New York brother, so we take our own little digs, you know what I'm saying?
When you coming out of Harlem, man, you know what it is.
And then when you go on the channel, he like, hey, y'all, how you doing? I got to go fly out to Detroit. I got to fly out to DC.
Spittin Fire already told me don't fly out to Detroit no more. I heard him.
I ain't say that.
I already let the people know, look, man, we not going through there next time.
Right.
After what I just heard. Hey, Uncle Stu, how you doing, man? You good?
Hey, it's much love here. Much love.
Spittin Love, I jumped over to your channel and I subbed to it, right? I'm not a drama person, but you know what? I subscribed, and whatever you got to say, you definitely know how to articulate yourself. So I'm down. You know what I mean? I'm open for the listen.
I appreciate that.
Uncle Stu, I want to say this to you about your interviews in the context of the content creation, your second channel, and the thing about not being typecast as a content creator or pigeonholed about particular content. One of the big advantages, one of the bigger pros of you doing these interviews the way that you do is you're putting yourself in the position for that second channel, for that podcast, for that Patreon, because you're creating evergreen content. Mm-hmm. See, all that 7 people on the panel and everybody an expert and nobody don't know what they talking about it at the same time, and it's 30 seconds of this and 20 seconds of this and and all of that.
Right.
It's not evergreen. But you're going to be able to, as you say, bring on your video editors, your producers. You're going to have a voice in it, give them some guidance, and you're going to be able to pull from this. See, what everybody think they getting now, this is just base. The gravy ain't even made yet. This is where you're going to be able to pull from. And then when people have to pay to hear what Spittin Fire and you had to talk about in a different context, aimed at building up skill development, right? Self-esteem, as she say, right? Producing things, allowing people to go into an area where they can be progressive in their thinking and look at other perspectives. They won't even remember that you could just get here and Uncle Stu just threw that thing on and let you on in. Absolutely. Like I am right now. So I get it. I get it. And that's why I respect what you do, man. You on it. You already know you on it. You so humble. Whenever people say certain things, you just lay back and you say, yeah, I'm working on it. You can. But that's that wisdom, right? Because I know where you at with it, right? You don't see, you a little more humble than me. Like I talked to a dude the other morning, his father called me and he said, Todd, I'm here with my son, him and his wife. They want to get into day trade right now. They do some investing, right? So he puts him on the phone with me, his son, 27. the first 5 minutes, he was telling me how I should do it, right?
Right.
And I said, hold up, man, let me check my phone because something must be wrong with my phone because you got me thinking I called you, you know? and he says, oh no. I said, oh, because I'm thinking, you know, these networks be acting crazy. That G5 out now. You know, so his father stepped in and say, hold on. Top, we on speaker. I said, all right, tell him I'm going to call him back if I need some more help. He said, no. So his wife grabs the phone. Top,
Right.
no, we trying to get in the date. Okay, all right, cool. Here's what we can do. You know, and
Right.
then we went on like that. So I get it, Uncle Stu, and I love you for it, man, because you deal with all the different generations, so many people from different walks of life, and you always allow people to give their version of it, to give their perspective. And a lot of these channels, they won't do that. You know, they will impose their will. They will impose their philosophy on it. Now, the mantra is the mantra and the thesis is the thesis, but I'm just saying, you give people that voice, man, that's big. And that's the part that's going to be evergreen when you start developing the other pieces to your business.
Right. Right. And that is, and I'm so glad you said that because that's the key for me. Behind every business owner, behind every right now I'm just dealing with content creators. There's a real story. There's a real human being, just hearing Spittin Fire's story. It's
I heard
everybody caught her story. Here's a woman who 13, she was out there. And I'm in that generation. So when she said she was out, these dudes thinking, yo, I'm the Crip, I'm the Blood, I'm like, nah, y'all don't know what she's talking about.
Mm-mm.
Y'all and not realizing.
Her voice sounds like she's telling the story of someone else because you can speak well. You can speak very well. You could probably just slay a brother and he probably wouldn't be upset if he hadn't been to school. Because you speak very well.
Thank you.
And see, that is what blows me because it's like, okay, y'all don't realize this is a woman that her tongue, you think you a thug brother by the time she get through, you running home to your mama. You know what I'm saying?
Many of them do. Many of them do. Trust me.
You
in the streets and on the internet. They really do.
And
but
if you
the thing of it is the fact that, we all come from a story. We all have a story to tell and stuff like that. And the thing of it is that at my age now, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've accepted it. I'm okay with it and everything else. And everything that I try to tell or teach or talk about on my channel, it may not be what people like. It may be triggers or whatever, but those are conversations that have to be had. You know what I mean? We can't be afraid to talk about the things, but we got to take responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that is key.
Well, I think you're doing. I'm gonna be checking you out. I have to.
Thank you.
You know, and like a lot of content creators whose channels I subscribe to now, a lot of them I watch the interviews. I mean, I'm watching Uncle Stu stuff, and I'm like, okay, because see, I know what Uncle Stu gonna do. He gonna give you that platform. He gonna give you that mic. He gonna big up you. He gonna all of that, and I love that because it's selfless. It's just
very selfless.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful thing. I know for me, just throw this in there real quick, and I'm gonna shut up, Uncle Stu.
No,
for
you
me,
fine.
With my channel, I don't have a niche, right? Like ever since I've been doing the day trade and stuff for almost 20 months, a little more than 20 months now, that's been the focus of my channel. But before then, it was other content. And even now, I do some other stuff. So I don't have, but here's the thing that I noticed. I've gotten so many opportunities from the content on my channel. Like the things that I do when I fly drones for insurance companies and freelance for like weddings or something like that, or do some stuff for construction companies, it comes as a result of somebody wanting somebody to use a drone, and then the person being able to say, yeah, this guy Talk, he does it. Here's his channel. Look on his channel for some of his drone flying, and you might find some use case for his style or the way that he maneuvers it or something like that. And by the way, on there he talks about him being licensed for it. So that's where a lot of my opportunities come from, through real estate and stuff like that. Other opportunities come from other things other content that I create and put up on the channel. So a lot of my opportunities in terms of money definitely come from the content I just throw up there, and I don't have a particular niche. It changes with time. I don't hesitate to change. And the reason why I don't hesitate to change is because I don't check with people. I inform them. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Yeah. And so you don't want to be, and if I was hearing some of this,
Right.
maybe this is where I'm at. You don't want to wind up being held hostage by your followers, and you know in your heart you've grown beyond that position, or maybe there's some other things that you find as a bigger value that you can deliver. And so now it's like, well, I got to keep on doing this to get the so-called bag. Cool. But if you don't come up with something, or you're not already moving that way, that's going to be something you're going to have to deal with. And then that's not going to look much different than you just need to go to work for 9 to 5.
Right.
Because you ain't doing your thing no more. You're doing their thing, you know.
Absolutely. So, and that's exactly where I'm at. As far as this platform, where it's at now is, when I say I'm chasing the interview, it's not like chasing the news story. It's, hey, I want to talk to this person.
Absolutely.
I want to talk to this person. You know, what is it going to take for me to talk to this person? What do I got to do to get in contact with this person? Like, people would think, okay, he wants Kwame Brown because Kwame Brown got to play. No. Kwame Brown is 10 years younger than me. I remember when he went into the NBA. I have a whole different concept of Kwame Brown than the YouTuber. I remember when he came into the league. I was 27. I remember when he played. I remember when, certain situation happened in California. I remember all of those things. So that might be new to you. That's old stuff to me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? When he talks about, I'm a Geechee, my people out of South Carolina, I know what that means. To y'all, that's entertainment words. To me, that's personal. You see what I'm saying? I want to know Kwame, the person, the human being.
As I head to Hilton Head Island next week.
Huh?
As I head down I'll be staying at Hilton Head Island next week.
Yeah, because you can't go to Detroit because you're about to get snapped.
Well, Spittin Fire just told me don't go that way.
Y'all better stop. You coming to Detroit. You gonna come to, yes, you is.
I gotta see another one of your interviews.
You gotta come to Detroit.
I ain't coming till I see a new interview.
Sometimes the dragon come out, but believe me, that's an alter ego. She fine, she good.
And let me tell you that Williams, that really is an alter ego. You need to see when that little girl come out.
That's an alter ego.
Funny, boy. And look, and then she got the daughter. And I just got sucking into the family because it was like, I'm sick. And the daughter in the background screaming too. And it was like,
no, it's wonderful. I mean, she's obviously intelligent. So I definitely want to hear what she got to say.
Look, I'm going to Detroit, but I got my mask.
Keep that. I ain't burning nobody up. Welcome, much love, everybody. Come here and have a good time.
Yeah, I love her. And
anyway, we supposed to be having. We used to have the auto show in the winter. Now it's supposed to be in the summer, so you can come here and see all the new cars and everything else, all from around the world. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Come here. Yes.
Yeah. But Tack, I'm trying to get that sports debate, studio. See how he just, he can lay back. He probably got about 20 cameras in his joint. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then when he get bored, he just flip his shit. Look, I want to spin my chair around, play a little video game, and then come back and, so what do y'all want to know today about sport? You know what I'm saying? I'm a little too, but man.
It looked like CNN in there. It looked like the CBS Sports Center.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there. I'm working hard. I'm working hard. You know, I gotta do some day trading to get about 4 or 5 computers up in this joint.
Hey,
I understand.
like I say,
Yeah.
Uncle Stu, when I introduce myself, I play a day trader Monday through Friday.
Drop the mic moment.
I just subscribed to you.
Oh, you to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate you.
Yep. I just subscribed.
I
The other
appreciate
guy, I'll go back and look at his.
Yeah, see, you know, sports debate, you know, he one of them deep brothers, you know, you can tell them deep brothers, you know what I'm saying? Them deep brothers is who you gotta watch.
Sports debates. You be talking that
yeah.
sports stuff. He be talking
You
that
know
language
what
I
I'm
don't know nothing about.
You
No,
know,
we do a little of everything over there. We touch on it
Y'all
all.
doing everything. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at his background. He got a cool background. He got the
I
screen and he got the
arcade
Incredible Hulk.
machines.
Now, hey, this whole setup basically came from everything that y'all been talking about this whole time. When I first started, I watched like what Spittin Fire was saying earlier. I highly recommend if you start on YouTube, go watch gamers. Gamers have some of the most elaborate, most unique setups, camera setups as far as what type of camera to get, the equipment to buy to turn the camera you buy into a webcam, so you don't have to use the lower quality cam on your laptop or desktop. I went and watched gamers and learned how to use OBS, how to edit my own. Like Uncle Stu said, I had an editor at one point in time who I was paying, but when I learned how to edit on my own, I found that I started putting my own personal touch that my subscribers start to recognize and like. That the editors don't know how to implement in little funny little cut-in scenes that only I and my subscribers would get. An editor would know how to do that.
Right.
So sometimes sometimes it's better to just do the edits on your own because you could put your own little personal spin on it. But I think everybody has some good information. I think one of the worst things that happen, especially in like this black sector with black creators, one of the worst words that they run around using is clout chasing.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's sad. It's sad because
yeah.
I tell people on my channel, clout chasing is marketing. This is how you market. You talk about topics. We all have to do it. We have to follow topics, talk about the hottest topics, give our takes on it, and just not get so caught up or emotional about what people are saying, and just understand that that's just what comes with YouTube. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion. You know, who cares how they feel? It's all marketing to a certain degree. So we just got to get out of that mindset that it's clout chasing.
we
It's too many
definitely
people.
do.
Yeah.
Have to.
Look, sports, FYF sports debates. You are absolutely right. One of the things that used to piss me off,
Mhm.
it used to piss me off so bad. Sometimes I just click off the camera. Like I just can't believe it. And I said I would never ever argue with anyone that tell me all y'all doing it for is likes and views.
Yeah. Well, duh. Yeah. Duh. Yeah.
Like, do I literally have to argue that point? Like, I refuse to argue that point.
Right.
I refuse to argue that. If you say that, you need not to be on YouTube.
As Fat Joe and Remy Ma are on the show every morning now, right? Wendy Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing, and I said this to O'Shea because O'Shea did a thing, and I said, the next time you do this subject, you let them know that your V-Lab is right here. Uncle Stu is the V-Lab of the black sector. Tell everybody running over there for the interview, come talk to me, because I'm going to give you the person. I'm going to allow you.
And I'm going to tell people that too. Tell their story over there on Uncle Stu.
And Uncle, one thing my bad.
Nothing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to catch nothing. This isn't okay. I'm trying to get the big story. Okay, I got my news crew over here, and we know Tat Williams, and then I'm asking you questions, ready to get you in a gotcha moment.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I just need you to. Now, of course, if I catch you with some BS, but I don't sit there doing 20 years of research on Spittin Fire and say, okay, I got all this research. Okay, I'm gonna ask this question. If she don't answer this question the way this research say, tell your story, and we can develop it from there.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not trying to go after the latest news story. I'm just trying to go after you, the human being.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you may only have 50 or 200 subscribers, but your story is worthy of, you know.
You never know who's going to watch it. You never
That's
know who's
right.
going to see it.
Right.
You can't, you can't judge someone by their subscribe base. That's a
Right.
really bad thing to do, because somebody you can have more subscribers to them today, 6 months from now, they got more than you.
Right.
You better
And
be careful with that
I
one.
want it, yeah, and I always want it authentic.
Yes.
I always want it authentic.
I hate to cut it short,
I
because if I
know.
don't, I will talk forever. I will talk. I normally do 1 hour, but because I love the conversation so much, I did an hour and 20 minutes over that.
You sure did, and I want to thank you.
Thank everybody for your hospitality. Thank you. Nice meeting you, Tag Williams, FYF Sports Debate, and the
Yep,
other
thank
young
you.
man.
You're
We
welcome.
ain't signing nothing.
Sarah, you're welcome.
Okay, it was nice meeting you. Thank you again, Uncle Stu, old man on the
Thank
block. I
you.
appreciate it. The love over here was so genuine, so sweet. I mean, I'm definitely coming back. I'm coming back. You was my last interview, but I may just be over here. I may just move in now. I just may be moving in, because
Yeah,
the
that's
sector
what's
I'm
up.
from is chaotic, and I need some peace somewhere in my life. This is a utopia over here. I love it over here.
Thank you.
All right.
And I thank you for coming. Like, everybody don't know, this has been 3 months in the making. So
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Keep on spitting that fire.
I would. You know what? I said in 2022 I wasn't gonna turn into the dragon. You know what I'm saying? They say my mouth is fire when I turn into the dragon. I said, well, fire comes out the mouth when you turn into the dragon. That means ain't nothing nice in it. So don't get her upset when she be spitting dragon. However, I'm working on it. But thank you guys for coming.
You have a great evening.
Coming on, talking
You
to
have a
me.
good
Thank
one.
you,
A
Uncle
great
Stu,
weekend.
for having me. I appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
Thank
All right.
you. Fire out.
Bye-bye. What's
Uncle
going
Stu.
on?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
good.
sports debate. You know, I got look, tag. He don't pump me so much. I gotta switch the screen and just be a part.
Oh man.
I'll be
Put
down
him up
here
there,
for a
right?
while.
Y'all put him
Yeah,
up
let
there.
him get the star spot. Yeah.
Hey, y'all been cooking, man. Y'all been saying a lot of things I be talking about sometimes towards the end of my stream. My only thing, remember I said in the comments that I disagree with some. What I was disagreeing with was Spittin Fire said something along the lines of, as you go along and as your channel starts generating money, that's you take that money and you reinvest.
Okay.
And my pushback was, no, you invest in your channel from the get-go. You start off with a high quality camera, 4K. You start off with understanding how to use OBS and all the streaming services. You start off trying to find the best quality mic for whatever you do. And you don't want to, not everybody's going to have the luxury of having a viral moment and just going viral and just going crazy in the algorithm. And so until that viral moment hits, hopefully it does hit for everybody where you can just have that type of success. But if it doesn't, you have to be mindful of all the things that help trigger your channel and the algorithm. And I only got this stuff when I went to I did an online seminar with Jake Paul. I talked to other bigger YouTubers like Perky, right? And they talked about how recording in 1080p or 4K. They talk about always using your face, using actual video on YouTube, because this is not Spotify or Stitcher. It's not an audio platform. Some people, you just see them with a logo on the screen talking. So I just try to take little tidbits information and on how to grow your channel and get better in the algorithm from other people, learning, get you set up. So I say invest right out the gate. Don't wait, right? If you have additional revenue, invest in it, learn how to market your channel. I was blessed with having another business outside of YouTube. So I had an understanding of SEO and how to market a little bit. So I just took that same information and flipped it into YouTube, and I've had some success even though it could be better, but I've had some success marketed it that way. So I tell people, invest right out the get-go. Don't wait. Start right out the gate with the best that you can afford.
You know, it's funny that you say that because me and mine just went into that conversation. You know, when I came into the studio today, you know, she was like, well, it's time to get this. It's time to buy this. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. You know, bigger, you know, like in the beginning, you never understood why in the world the monitors that some of these guys had was like X wide, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
they can't see or they just, and it's like, oh, I get it now, you know, but it's not something I would have bought earlier because it doesn't make sense to buy a whole lot of stuff and then you don't know what the heck you're doing with it. So yeah, I definitely see where certain equipment now I do have to get. There's certain, you know, Perry Unlikely. He's my you know, one of my mastermind people. I went and spent $300 on Final Cut Pro, and I'm like, Perry, I ain't used this thing in 3 months, and I got it 3 months ago. And he was like, that's it, Uncle Stu. You want to get off of iMovie? I don't want to see another, you know, video with iMovie cuts in it. You need it. And so guess what I had to do last 2 days? Sitting up there going, okay, now I got to move this to do the iMovie here. Okay, now I got to call them tomorrow. What was them plugins you told me to get? But the for me, the challenge and the love, you know, when you talk about edits, that's fun. And once I start really learning what the heck I'm doing, you know, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. Okay, this, and then it's like, oh, J cut, L cut. Okay, how do you do this? You know, so for me, it's more of the learning curve than it is the joy of making a video. You know, I almost know what I want to say, but it's like, okay, I got to make this more entertaining. I got to do this. But where I would try to do a 25-minute video because I can talk for 25 minutes, like, oh no, I got to learn to take all this information, put it in a 5-minute clip, make it entertaining, and then ship it out. You know, if I could say it that way, but it's the best way that people can digest information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for me. Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
No, for me, I use Final Cut ever since it was like a 6 and then Final Cut X or 10 or whatever like that. And then when I started just throwing up videos, I stepped back from that. I don't even use Adobe Premiere much unless I'm doing a video for a client or something. You know, I'll use that. I'll use like Photoshop and After Effects and Adobe Premiere. But for my YouTube channel, I just use something called Camtasia. That's what I use. Because Camtasia for me is a simple split, move audio, stitch together, call outs, boom, and I'm done. You know, and that's the thing. It's like you have to identify the product that you may have been exposed to that works best for your use case with that skill set or that learning curve and that timing that you want to get it up and out in front of you. So, so like I'm gonna give you my opinion about your channel at this stage. Not that you asked for it, Uncle Stu. But I'm a
hey, hold on, Jack. We got Joe, Sports Debate. Didn't he just talk about that about 15 minutes ago? People listen to advice. See, he think I don't be listening.
That's why I know I can take advantage of this moment, right? So, Uncle Stu, this time next year, for me, probably the likes of me, I won't be watching many of your interviews, probably. Here's why. Your voice, the audio, the person that you may have, I might want to glance at them, look at it for a few minutes. But for the most part, you are going to be in my catalog of listening to your content, not necessarily watching. Whether you like it or not, you will evolve as my use case as a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
No homo here, but you may be in the bathroom when I'm in the shower, depending on when you coming on, or depending
Right.
on when I'm taking the shower. I do
Right.
Gary V like that now. I do E like that. I do a lot of the motivational speakers like that when I want to hear certain things. After I've established that here's a content creator, an entertainer, a sports figure, whoever it might be, that I have a particular use case in the draw to the content that they're putting out. And it's not about the visual. My focus is your audio equipment such that after 5 minutes, it creates a ring in my ear and you have good audio. You cannot control what your audience has. Now, I know that's out of your control, but for the most part, you have good audio. There's no gang of B's and P's or what we call those boof and all, all of that weirdness, right?
Right.
So this is what typically happens. And I'm going to say this
Right.
to you. A lot of people that watch you today will not watch you this time next year. They will listen because you've already established something in them about that. There's not a lot to see here, but what's being said, that's where the value is for the individuals. That's I'm just throwing that at you, which is a good thing because that's growth.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
take that personal at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the road. Matter of fact, the first real audio recording I'm going to do on this machine is for Frank Gooden, Emmy Award winning filmmaker, because I'm in his production. And that's only we supposed to, matter of fact, he moved my date up. So I'll be doing my first audio recording next week for the part that I'm doing, because I have to actually write the part.
Okay. So I'm gonna be watching. I mean, it's gonna be your YouTube. Like it's people I listen to. I listen to Les Brown. I listen to Gary V. I listen to Tony Robbins. I listen to Uncle Stu. It's people that I listen to because there's nothing new to be said. There's just a different flavor of it at a different time and a different type of delivery and an application for it, right? So I listen to different people after I bought into the messages that they deliver. You're going to become that. It's going to be on your YouTube channel. I just won't be watching. It will be playing. And that's what a lot of people will do because of the type of content that you're delivering. You know, and that's dope. That's dope. That's got growth all in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got growth.
I think what he said right there too, man, that just tells you got multiple streams of income that you could implement your YouTube channel into, especially if you just flip the audio and put it on Stitcher, you put it on Spotify, and you turned it into audio podcast. You could, and that's what I do with my YouTube channel. I work with a company called Newsbreak. I work with multiple other companies that allow me to take my YouTube videos and what I can do is then republish them on other sites and still get the same monetization in other places.
Right.
So I think that's just an option there. I'm about to go to Spotify myself. I'm started with Stitcher, Anchor, all of these. Just take the same audio and you can now get monetized other places. So he is right there. Like I said, I would definitely that.
Yeah.
Because YouTube is down. Like Jake Paul said it. He says, unfortunately, YouTube is a dying platform. And while a lot of people are new to it and just now getting established here, it is slowly dying. And so now may be the time for us to kind of get ahead of the curve and say, well, okay, where else can we start monetizing our content outside of YouTube? Because when it does go downhill, are you going to be set up in other places so you can continue going instead of just dying with YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube for me right now, it is the beginning, but it's not the end. And as I learn and look ahead, not only is this going to be one of my businesses, but I'm also diversifying my business. So I'm into a little bit of everything, production here, everything. I'm learning on edits. I mean, that's a skill that doesn't go nowhere. You know, whether you're doing YouTube, whether you're doing Twitch, or whether you're doing somebody's movie production or editing somebody's, you know, wedding or whatever.
Hmm.
It's a higher level business that definitely can do more than just that. So yeah, I am looking ahead. It's just trying to get it all organized, if that makes
No
sense.
doubt. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Make
Well,
perfect
let
sense.
me ask Tack a question. So you were talking about instead of watching, listening. So when you said that, it made me think about something that I do unconsciously, and there's some YouTube channels where I could just, like you said, sit the phone down. I could
Yep.
just hear it, and I know exactly what I'm digesting. But then there's
Absolutely.
other content where I hear it, but then I got to pick up my phone, and then I got to take a look and be like, hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
and that's where
Yeah.
and that's why, with my content, that's why I said I really have to really get them with the visual as well, not just what I'm saying, not try to convince them with the words, but I have to try to do really creative visual things to
So
get people to pick up
FYS,
the phone and look.
FYF, what is your content mainly? Like what are you like if I look at your channel,
Yeah.
am I getting the sound of what you're saying and then I need to embrace the visual representation, or what's going on with your channel? What do you
Sometimes. So I have a really crazy mixture of different types of content. So
Okay.
I have my live stream, obviously, where those things with people with their own sports takes can go anywhere. It's a sports
Okay.
debate channel. The creative thing that we do is we have our head-to-head debates. If two people have a contentious point that they want to debate, we just let them two get up there, and we'll let the subscriber base put money in the Cash App, and the winner gets the Cash App, whatever got
Got you.
donated within that time. So
Got you. That's
kind of
cool.
makes it creative
That's
there.
cool. Yeah.
Secondly, I have my videos where I talk about really like contentious talking points. I'll sometimes I'll just like I did a video the other day where I just said I think Michael Jordan would be DeMar DeRozan 2.0 in this era. Do
Okay.
I honestly believe that? Probably not. But when I did that video, obviously when I cut the clips together, it makes people want to go watch and see what I'm saying and how did I connect
Absolutely.
the dots with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
That's what
then
I have
yeah,
to see that, right? I have to
yeah,
see that. Yeah.
it's just a lot of so I try to, and then I also do the things where I'm just talking and people can just digest the audio and not necessarily have to pick up their phone.
Yeah.
Because I know I got a lot of truck drivers who listen to my show. They got to focus in on the road. And so sometimes I get messages from them saying, I love listening to some of these these videos that go on for like 30, 45 minutes, but I could just listen and I don't necessarily have to have my phone in my hand
No
while I'm
doubt.
driving. So I try
Mhm.
to give people all types of content, different types, from different angles. I'm still learning. Like I'm learning a lot right now. Just listening to y'all. So I'm just digesting and just try to hopefully put it into the content that I put out.
Yeah, I think that YouTube, if we look at YouTube, the one of the I always look for the good. It's easy to slay something down, cut it up, throw it away, find out where the trash at. But I look at YouTube and I say to people, I said, so do you have a website? You have your own website. And they
Mm,
said, well, I don't really need my own
yeah.
website. I said, okay, that's probably true. Let me see your Facebook page, right? And they pull up their Facebook page and I said, okay, so can we brand this out to you without me knowing I'm on Facebook like that? And they said, well, it'll let you do it. Okay, so you might want to consider your own website. Then I say, okay, let me see your YouTube channel. Well, can we do this without YouTube controlling it? No. Well, we might want to consider you getting your own website. And maybe, they say, well, how do I put the videos in there? Well, you're going to embed the videos from YouTube. So you're still using the YouTube server to play the videos.
Yeah.
It's not
And you
like
get
you
the
have to buy
views.
that. And then they
Yeah.
say, well, I don't have time to type in text and fill in all the pages. Well, here's the deal. You got an article, you take some clips, and guess what you can do? You can turn on transcript on your YouTube channel, on your videos, and for the most part, they 85 to 90% good on how they transcribe out what you say, and you can copy and paste and start populating them pages, different things like that. There's so many ways that you can get closer to, or at least understanding the publishing side of it, having your own website, understanding how you can get people to go there, drive the traffic, connect the dots from the different platforms, drive the traffic, and have people to execute on a call to action at your website where you can pretty much control the aesthetics and different things like that. And as a business, I don't care what platform you use, you still should have your own website, but other people see it differently, which is fine, right? Which is fine. But I'm just saying there's so many opportunities that just simply doesn't cost as much, and the cost, if any, gets reduced tremendously based on how informed you are. That's what I'm finding out.
I got a funny story about that. What you just said with the website, because I had a stream just dedicated to YouTube marketing one day, and some guy came on there. His name was Jiggy TV, and he was basically saying, "Nah, you don't need all that. You just gotta." And so he was really shunning the idea of needing your own website, like you said, putting your content on other places, Twitter, so you can be found in the Google searches and not just the YouTube searches. And so what I ended up doing, just to kind of make my point, was I bought his domain name and linked it back to all my videos.
No doubt.
To really show people. So now when you type in jiggytv.com, it brings up FYF Sports and all my videos and all my blogs. And that's probably ethically, probably not the best thing to show my audience. Right. But the whole point of it was, it's bigger than just YouTube. You know, we can all argue and have our different opinions on different things, but the marketing side of it needs to be the same. We all need that website. We all need to have those outside things outside of YouTube that bring, like what you said with the embedded videos. How can you drive everybody back to YouTube so you can get, you know, and you know, I think Uncle Stu said something earlier about, you know, I think Spittin Fire said something that you always have to be changing your content. I don't believe you always have to change your content. I think you have to find more ways to bring in new viewership. Right? That's it. Just bring more eyes in. You can say the same thing 20 million times over. Just bring in more eyes, because you got the whole world as your consumer base. It's not too many businesses that you have. I have a business right now where you could say the entire world is your consumer base. YouTube, you got the whole world. How can you get more eyes to your channel? And using the Google algorithm, not just the YouTube algorithm, will help you do that if you can start understanding SEO, backlinks, and all those things. If you start understanding that, that's when you really start changing the game. And that's what I hope people start learning, sitting down, really trying to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the key word and the key knowledge is learn. And one of the things that in earlier of that conversation, and it's things that I realized, a lot of people don't have the discipline to learn. A lot of people would rather just get on YouTube, because I use StreamYard. They'd rather get on YouTube, come up with a controversial subject, argue for about 4 or 5 hours, and let's just call a spade, and they'll have super chats going all up and down their screen. You know, so they done picked up $2-3 grand for that, you know, and they made their money. They don't want to hear nothing about diversifying and this and that. And they're good. And at the end of the day, they don't care. They say what they had to say. So, and they throw up a thumbnail, and you look on their page and they got 13K, 20K within 2-3 days. And it's like, wow. You know, then you sit up there saying, man, I'm doing all this reading, all this research. I'm trying to put something positive back in it, and the numbers don't match.
But you got to realize the one thing I learned too, because I started this in 2020.
Right.
Kind of grew kind of faster than normally, but you got to understand that the long grind is going to be the better, like it's going to have a better impact on your channel with regards to the types of viewers you have. The short grind, going viral, those people are going to be there in that moment, but you lose those subscribers. You lose their attention span a lot faster. They're not going to stick around for the long term. So I say the long grind is much more valuable to your channel than the short grind. Because right now, just looking at your channel, like taking the time to set your background up, keep it orderly, turn your camera on, make sure people coming on, turn their camera on. right? As a lot of people don't pay that much attention to detail, and your ad, your CPN, your ad revenue is going to be higher than most people just because you're paying attention to the small details. So go for the long money. The super chats, that's the short money.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I mean, when I talk about adding value, Lucchese 20 is always bringing me value. Wally,
Mhm.
a lot of people underestimate this 20-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Wally would sit here and email me like now. Wally emailed me and gave me like 5 books that he was like, "Hey, Uncle Stu, you said this. Hey, what about these 5 books?" And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
now I gotta go buy the 5 books. But it's nothing negative.
Right.
It's like, how do
Yeah.
I turn a book that he just gave me, read it, study it, get the main points of every chapter, and put it in video form because it is what it is. So that self-development, that's something else that we in Simons always talked about. He was like, dude, because I would go out, I would walk, I would take a GoPro, and in order for me not to feel alone walking, I'll be talking in my GoPro. And then I just upload it as a YouTube thing, never realizing, okay, it's only 30 people seen this video versus another video I may do, and it's all these. And he was one of the first people to say, man, you don't realize how valuable that talk is, And I said, okay, cool. And he's always told me about getting other channels, but it was like, hey, I'm fighting to get this one channel to a particular number before all of a sudden saying, okay, now I'm going to go and do this. So I know the struggle it took me just to get 1,000 subscribers here, and the work and being on different platforms and trying to get your name out. So it's it's me just learning from one side to another.
Got you. Yeah. That
Because
that
you
makes
got
sense.
because live streaming is totally different than producing content.
Right.
you know. And if you don't, I get the thumbnails and the titles, and sometimes, and this is what I meant to ask Spittin Fire, but I can ask y'all. Sometimes the frustration is you put this video together, you don't want to necessarily blame your audience for not watching your content, but it's like, okay, I noticed on this side of the YouTube hemisphere, it's all about live streams, and it's like you got a good live stream, everybody comes and runs to the live stream. But if I was in another sphere of YouTube, they're all about, the videos. So it's like, well, wait a minute now. How do you get the message out when it appears that two totally different audiences is looking at your content? If that makes sense.
There's a trick.
Okay.
There is a trick to that.
That it wasn't me again. I'm learning to love the
Mhm.
struggle because every level is like, yeah, I got it now, or I'm understanding this. So yeah, you want to speak on that?
Just saying the trick for me was because I started to notice the same thing. A lot of
Okay.
people in this sports talk, they want it to be live. They want you to be live. They want to be able to type in immediately their thoughts on whatever you say. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pre-record longer breakdowns, load the footage in, do the NBA film study videos. It might go on for 1-2 hours, and then I'm going to record it. I'm going to edit it up, and then I'm going to drop it as a live premiere. The live premiere gives the people, it takes care of that little itch that they have to want for the video to be live. I'm on the screen talking. I'm even in the live chat responding to people's messages. Right. But this premiered, they're live watching it right there with me. They're responding to what I'm saying. I'm responding back, but you don't always have to be live. And then you can chop that video up into smaller segments and turn it into mini videos.
Right.
So you can turn that video into multiple videos, and you title it different to bring in more viewership, more eyes, turn it into stories, turn it into all types of things, community posts to bring in more viewership. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can deal. If you feel like you have a base that just loves lives, I would say consider live premieres.
Okay.
And on the production piece, what I find is I'm more intentional with the message, and I'm not just going with the flow. So with the production piece, I'm controlling the message. It's deliberate. It's intentional. I'm putting the cues in there, some visuals, some call outs, whatever that might be. And then that seems to work pretty cool. Or I judge those results different. My lives, I don't have a lot of expectation from them because I don't feel like I really control the lives, right? It's like I'm getting a response or not. And I just really start doing lives, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Most of I have maybe 10,000 subscribers, and 98% of that is from me putting videos out. It's not from me doing lives. I just recently started getting into the live thing. And I don't, I'm not crazy about the lives because I know with the video, with the production, video production, I'm more intentional. It's me sending that message. And if it fails to hit, then that's just what it is, for me.
But I do see two different, and I think it has more to do, at least for this platform. I think certain things is live worthy, but other stuff is not live worthy. If that makes sense. Like I couldn't see getting on a live and say, okay, I'm going to teach y'all how to manage time, and we're just gonna. Now I feel like I'm in a classroom, and it's like, okay, that's a one-shot deal, leave it. Versus, okay, let me put this video together about how to manage time, because I can, like you said, control the message, do the motivation, give you the visual, give you some, some call to action, and it's there forever.
Yeah.
Where if I do a live, it's a one-shot deal.
Yep.
If I, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
if I do a live now and I say, okay, I'm gonna speak about Joe Biden. Okay, now you get my whole emotional response. And then that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's nothing to it where there's no teaching, there's no build-up, there's no real understanding. But why does he say this? Why does he say that? Why does he think this way or act this way? Salute to Tough Love in the house.
Salute.
So it's really all about that. So it's very interesting in the sense of, dealing with two different aspects, because I got nothing but a love for my people. I love my people. When I say I love my, but it's like, hey, are y'all either lacking understanding or it's never really been put out there? And that's my learning curve. Because I know we can, like they say, if you know better, you'll do better.
So Uncle Stu, like tonight, let's take tonight, right? Tonight you did two different programs to me. There's the interview. You had the wonderful young lady on here, Spittin Fire, okay?
Right.
And that's one piece. And then right at the end of that piece, when me and FYF came on, is a whole nother segment. So if this was my content, I would edit two shows. One would be whatever that was about with Spittin Fire.
Right.
The other part would be produced about considerations of content creators, right? Or content creators with different niches or whatever, or content creators weigh in. And that's what we're doing. We're having a conversation about best practices, consider whatever that is. So these are two different shows to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And as part of your evergreen moving forward, as you know, that's why I tell people, capture the content, capture the content, capture the content. Yeah, but I don't know how to edit it. You can learn how to edit it later on. Well, I don't have Spotify yet. I don't have a Twitter yet. I don't have the other platforms. Get the other platforms later on. Because here's what you won't be able to do. You won't be able to come back and capture this content. So capture it while you can and find a use for it later on.
He's all facts right there. That's some of the best information you get. Slice it up. And I think the videos that you produce and edit over the long term always do better than the live streams. The live streams in that one night, Like I did a live stream last night, 5,000 views. Boom. I'm like, wow. But you know what's gonna happen? The watchability that's just gonna go down over time. So it might get up to maybe 10K views, but it's never gonna get up to 30 and 40K. As opposed to some of my shorter videos that are edited and produced over time, they might be able to get up to 30, 40K because they're more watchable. Like he said, you can get your thought out better. You have more intent with them. They're not all over the place.
They become evergreen.
Yeah. And he's right about that too. And that's why when I first started, the first 6-7 months, I said, I'm not going to do a live. I need to get as much content out as possible that's edited and produced at least the way I want it, so people can understand what this channel is about. And so when they tune into FYF Sports, they're not expecting me to be live all the time. I need my lives to be a special event. So when I went live last night, if you watched the first 10 minutes of it, I did something crazy at the beginning. You know, dressed up like a Power Ranger, act like I'm fighting Laker fans. Look, I got the helmet. I got the helmet right here. I had the whole Power Ranger suit on. Like, so what I did was, you could get creative with StreamYard. What I did was I ran my intro. I pre-recorded a video, act like I'm talking about the topic, and in the video that I pre-recorded, I had an edit in there acting like I got called to go fight some Laker fans. I'm doing all crazy stuff, and people thinking, it's part of the product. Like, you can do much more with the production. I've got the chat going crazy and everything. So what I'm saying is, you can get creative with all this, but you can be much more creative and show your personality when you edit and put time into these videos, as opposed to just jumping on that live. And now the only time people see you is when you're going live. They only want to see your live content. They don't care about. I want people to care about the pre-recorded content, because that's where I can really push the real messages.
Yeah, because I tough love. I dropped the StreamYard for you because you're very valuable in this particular conversation. If you got a few minutes, tough love is really one of the first content creators that really inspired me to get a YouTube channel. Both of us is Army, both of us retired, but it was listening to his content that it was like, okay, I'll do this. And then, of course, TLA was like the real big push, and that really sent me over. So that was like the most awesome thing for me. I already know I have to get 2 different cameras, adding more cameras into this studio just to be able to, diversify, have different looks. You're definitely right on doing more videos, producing more videos, producing more content in that regard, to control the message and be able to say, okay, I can do this in an 8-hour period and put out enough video content within that week and be good. Versus a live. I think what surprised me, and it happened twice. I did a live, and I was the only one that did the monologue. And it was like, I would ask people to come on, and no one would come on. And I was like, well, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And it still kind of messed me up behind it. It was like, okay, when you do a monologue, I'm looking for, other platforms, about 4 or 5 people getting ready to come up here, and we're gonna do a roasting, we're gonna do a pushback, we're gonna do something. Yes, and I got nothing. Yes.
Salute, fellas. Salute.
That's good, tough love.
Salute, bro.
What's up, man?
Salute,
What's up? Hey, man, listen, I missed the live with you and Spittin Fire. I'm gonna have to catch the replay. I was with my daughter, man. So I'm gonna have to check that out, man. I apologize. Uncle Stu gave me enough advance. I should have set the clock. I'm sorry, bro.
Look, you got the best hat on right now, so I know you're down in the Lone Star State, but New York, you're rocky. Yeah. But Tack is kind of funny because I was going through something just last week.
Okay.
I was lacking some motivation. I know that they say it's part of the process, but I was really lacking this like frustrating motivation. Like, okay, I'm not about to put out content that's about destroying this content creator or cussing out this woman or you know what I'm saying? It's like I know we can be better than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know the conversation isn't this in order to be something. You know, now I ain't gonna lie, I'm not into sports like that, so it's not like I can run and say, okay, I got the stats for this and the this and the this.
Sure.
So I can't go down that route. You know, so I was like, tough love, to get this email, hit my number, bro. You got to call me because I need some help over here. You know, and we had a real conversation and like y'all coming up now, it's like, okay, God done answer my prayers. I got some black brothers that, you know what I'm saying, give me some oxygen in this space. Because for me, man, it is my people don't understand. It's love, but they don't understand the work behind the scenes.
Yes.
I think it's exactly what you said, man. I think that it takes great brothers and great sisters, great community to recharge ourselves at some point. You know, I hate that I miss FYF's his little Power Rangers. I'm gonna have to go check that out, man. But I'm sure that
do I need to cut that up and then put it out and say,
I'm sure that
I cut it up as a single video, so I titled it "Laker Fans Attack FYF Sports," so I cut it up as his own video.
I'm gonna tell you something, Lamont, man, that I've seen from you. That you had a conversation. I'm not even gonna mention the guy's name, but you had a conversation. You broke down some things that I said, yo, this brother really knows what he's talking about, and I like how he presents himself. So salute to you, man. You and Uncle Stu, y'all been killing it with the content. I don't know my brother, Mr. Williams up here, but I'm definitely gonna get familiar with them.
Yeah, tough love. That's what it is. Talk Williams, nice to meet you, bro. I'm a sub.
No doubt, man. Salute, bro. Salute. No doubt.
And I look, all of us. I mean, like I said, I hadn't heard of Tack Williams' channel, but I only heard of Uncle Stu's channel because I'm subbed to Lead Attorney. Lead Attorney subbed to me. And what happens with that algorithm is something special because the people that he subbed to and the people, people that I'm subbed to are going to get recommended to him, and the people that he's subbed to are going to get recommended to me. So I encourage everybody, man. It's like, even if they disagree, I don't care if I disagree with you, I'm going to sub to you because we need that algorithm to start working so everybody's channel is getting recommended to everybody. That's another way we can work the SEO. Sub. It's not just about liking. Sub. Every time you see somebody share their video, share just once or twice or something. Share, sub to them, all that.
I was definitely telling Uncle Stu when we talked on the phone earlier that I feel like that definitely has to be a common denominator for all. Like, hey, if I'm live, hey, make sure that the content creators, y'all drop y'all link, go subscribe, and push that narrative or whatever case be. Because I feel like everybody has, the content creators that I'm subscribed to, I feel like they have a special message. So whether it's talking about sports or politics or economics or black community or self-development, etc., I just feel like we all have a message that hey, my people home. I just feel like everybody has a message that can be pushed and promoted. So there's no reason why Uncle Stu shouldn't be sitting at, 20,000 subscribers.
Absolutely.
Easy. Yeah, that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
It's a slow grind. That's all.
Sub with 5. Sub watch 5. I'm just making up a moniker. Like, you sub to somebody and you watch at least 5 of their videos or 5 of their lives, and whether you disagree with them or not, you still show them support. And then you can just keep it moving, like that. But it just has to be a default practice. Like the fact that you came on here, Tough Love, I'm going to sub to your channel. FYF, I'm sub to your channel. The young lady, Spittin Fire, I'm sub to her channel. I don't know if I'm going to agree with the content or not, but I'm not going to let that take me away from, there's 2 different things going on. There's one that I like your content and I'm with it, I'm behind it. There's another thing that there's an obligation that I want my channel to grow, that I'm not going to perform the very action for others' channels to grow. How I'm not going to mirror what my own desire is on you.
Yeah. Well, I even had one joke one time because Tough Love does a lot of lives, you know, and like one day it was a live dropping every 3 hours, and I'm the moderator on this thing. And I was like, dude, I'm trying to edit a video. Yeah, but it was the love, because it was like, I don't want to miss the live, because you know I know what he's gonna bring. But it was like just this one day, I was like, yeah, I can't get mine done because I gotta make sure he's squared away. But he's doing exactly what, you know what I'm saying, TLA does. And like when people go after TLA, it's a little bit different when I say it gets personal for me, because I go, you know what? Name another content creator, especially with the numbers he got, that'll just let you come up there, speak your little opinion about whatever subject you're talking about, and then shout out your YouTube page in front of, what is it? He's over 100,000. Who's doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like you barely can get somebody to shout your page out, and they only got 500 subscribers. Yet alone. And the whole thing for me is, what does shouting out a person's YouTube page that came onto your page, how does that really hurt you? I still ain't figured that part out yet.
It only helps. I told you that misconception of clout chasing is bad in this sector. It all helps when somebody shouts you out, when everybody subs. When again, the subbing does more than just add to your sub count. It helps with your visibility in YouTube and Google. That's the big thing right there. So
and think about, you know, you talked about that other content creator. When you think about some of the big quote white content creators, they quick to they'll shout out a YouTube channel that only got 5 subs in it, all because they met this dude somewhere, you know, and it's like, oh yeah, and that person got 1,000 subscribers just going to one person's page. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing. Is like our community, sometimes we have a habit of demonizing with the disguise of envy. In other words, you know you want it, you know. Like, to me, the biggest trick that 50 Cent played on Ja Rule was baiting him out for everything when he was still broke and Ja Rule was on top. And then soon as 50 got on top, you couldn't make him argue about Ja Rule no more. Because he was like the guy that came to the dice game with $5 and you're standing there with 10,000. I need to keep you here shooting because I can't really lose much. I can win off of you. So it'd be like that in the YouTube street. Now, those other folks, they give seminars, conferences. They get paid $50,000, $100,000 to speak. And they call it marketing. And they talk about the same tools, and they say, hey, if you're not posting 3 times a day, if you're not posting 5 times here, if you're not bartering for intention, if you're not doing this, that, and that, how are you going to get it? Because it's enough for everybody. And see, everybody respect that. We over here talking about clout chasing. He just want views. He just want to be seen.
So I totally agree with what you just said, man. That was a great analogy. My thing is this, man. You know, I think that once you get caught up in the whole, if you allow someone to mentally possess your platform, that means, well, you can't talk about me because you clout chasing. You can't do this because of that. You need to run your channel at your speed.
Absolutely.
Run your channel how you want to run your channel. And I think a lot of people kind of get confused, or they kind of get a little nervous when they start speaking about certain things. Me personally, I'm gonna be honest with you. Once you show me that you're the type of man or woman that you're willing to do anything for views in regards to saying, hey, I'm gonna dox people, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take it somewhere else, that this thing can really escalate outside of YouTube. My thought process is, do I really want to stay with that energy? Because I've seen things go left and get crazy. You see what I'm saying? So to me, I don't think it's worth it. But if you can have like a healthy banter, you know what I'm saying? A healthy back and forth, it ain't cool. You know, we agree to disagree, but it's healthy. You see what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I've seen Lamont do this. And I said, this dude right here, let me subscribe real quick. I've seen him do it. And I said, yeah, that's exactly what I want. But just talking to Uncle Stu kind of gave me he kind of gave me an outlook that I'm gonna start exercising, because I believe that I just need to expand my horizons or whatever and get more people that are willing to have the conversation. And I think the issue that we have, especially in this Black YouTube sector, is that they don't want to have the conversation. What they want to do, it's all about embarrassment. It's all about disrespect.
Oh, of course.
And I think for me, because in real life I wouldn't tolerate it.
Yeah.
So I can't tolerate it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Nah.
Mhm.
So that's just me.
Nah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's organic for you, right? It's organic for I talk about what I talk about. I talk about what I live, right? Not I'm the expert on the way I live it, but that's where my excitement is. That's where you're gonna get that true delivery from me, mistakes and all, you know. I don't do good perpetrating information, so I know when I'm the student and when I'm the teacher, or we just sharing a peer session, right? A lot of people, that's why I say it's so easy to identify what's wrong. And what Uncle Stu has a habit of doing, he's going to find value in the fault. I've seen it on his interviews. People on there, Uncle Stu know they was kind of out the window or the things just wasn't right. And Uncle Stu going to find something in what they say to add value to it, to give that person another reason to straighten out that crooked road or to look forward to something better. And he doesn't never say it, he just does it. And he empowers them. He almost says, okay, if you subconsciously are looking for an excuse to get up out of there, let me help you, because you're not trapped. You know, we're not gonna step on your fingers because you're trying to push up off the floor. Here you go. And so that right there takes a high level of EQ, you know, that intelligence quotients that they talk about, or just being aware of a human being. And so when I watch him do that, I'll be like, yeah, man, you got to be a hell of a listener. I don't know if I listen that well, but I think that's a great thing. I think what you said, like you said, Tough Love, you know you don't get down like that. You know dude wouldn't be saying that to you in your hat distance. You understand what I'm saying? You already know that. So you don't deliver that. You don't tolerate. Like you say, you might agree to disagree and keep it moving, because that's not you. And that's the thing. It's like, are you growing through your mistakes and developing your channel or your content or where you want to be? Or are you trapped by the sensationalism of you're the puppet and the audience and your subscribers are the puppet master, and you're just trapped on that stage of that? Because that's a total different look.
I truly believe that if I wanted to sensationalize the channel and be like, you know what, let me just start really going ham on bigger YouTubers. Let me just start calling them out. Let me start doing. But to be honest with you, man, I feel like I owe it to people who subscribe to me to get they're coming to Tough Love to handle or have a conversation that is based on my perspective, life experience, comic sense. So we all coming together saying this is going to be a place where we can actually have a conversation.
Gotcha.
I don't want them to waste their time seeing me beef with somebody on some fake shit. That's just me. You see what I'm saying? Because the thought process is like, why haven't y'all met yet? You see? So, and I feel like there's a lot of men who pride themselves on doing a lot of negativity and then try to, I guess, every now and then throw a couple jewels out and then call that something. You know, it's a lot of men saying that, you know, this is what a real man does and this is what a real man does. And I'm like, is this what a real man does?
Right.
Is this the example that we supposed to be excited about? You know, so I never really want to, I don't want people to come to Tough Love channel and be like, man, it's all about beef and it's all about drama. I want us to have a conversation, but most importantly, I want us to have solutions. I want people to leave
That's
like,
what I'm talking
I got my
about, man.
point across and I didn't get disrespected because I had a different point of view.
And I'm gonna tell you, if you look at the stream he did, I think it was a day ago, and it got TLA on it, it got KS on it, and what got me with the conversation was all he was asking was one question: hey, if this person, the overall question was, TLA is a lawyer. How do you now say he's not a lawyer because he's on YouTube?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you bring that? Okay, he's on YouTube. He's bringing something to YouTube, and everybody in the chat was like to the far left or to the far right, and I'm going, okay, wait a minute now. Y'all all up into what the Black Manosphere doing. You are way over it. I'm like, and I had to put in the chat, y'all missing the point of what the message is. Like, how do we, it was like, the message is simple. We got to stop judging people based on, oh, he's a YouTuber, so he don't know nothing about finance, or he don't know nothing about, and then he made it real clear. It seems like the ones that's giving the criticism don't really have the resume. Now I'm sitting in the back laughing because I'm going, yeah, because some of y'all be really surprised who people are in real life, but you judging the situation totally off.
But Stu, I don't think it matters though. That's the thing, because when we on YouTube, first they'll say, well, like with me, I'm a sports channel. A lot of people will come to me and say, well, you only played D1 basketball. You didn't make it to the league. How can you talk about these NBA players? And then when you do get an NBA player to start talking about these things, then they'll find a way to discredit that NBA player, even if he's saying the same thing. So with TLA, he's a real live attorney. He's giving out information. You literally have people making videos saying, well, he can't be that good of an attorney, or he must be faking it because he's on YouTube X amount of hours. And I'm like, huh? I was like, so you finally get what you want. And then, like, so it does. I don't think it matters. I think you're gonna get hate. Like, people just want to see the. I don't get it. You can give them exactly what they want. They're gonna find a way to discredit anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. That's the sad part about it.
A lot of times people. One of the things that we have to accept, and one of the things that we know, people are ignorant of information. Okay, and we generally attach that to the youth, but it's not restricted to the youth, right? So you could have a 40-year-old, a 35-year-old, 30-year-old, 50. It doesn't matter. So, and a good example would be, a lot of guys thought that when they do interviews with DJ Vlad TV, who I think he does interviews as if he's prosecuting a case every time he interviews somebody. They thought that whatever I say here, it's just an interview, The cameras are running. He's going to show it to everybody. And they take that information too, and it can be in your indictment, So TLA is an officer of the court. He's not an officer of the court between 9 and 5. He's a lawyer, so he's an officer of the court also, right? So his responsibility as well as his accountability is greater than what he says on YouTube, because they can hold him accountable for that. And he knows that, okay? It really doesn't matter who else knows, right? But it's just sometimes people they're not really embellishing or using hyperbole to blow it out. A lot of times, man, grown people, they just haven't been informed. They're not educated enough. They haven't been in situations where they might know difference, even though we think common sense will kick it. Now, some of them it is. But a lot of people, the deck is not as stacked as some of us would presume it might be, even at that level.
Yeah, because I'm gonna let XDMC come in this. Not that I got upset. I got thrown off by y'all actually making videos to go against him teaching about how to do a live stream because he showed you his numbers. And I'm sitting up here saying, well, what other sector is really teaching live stream? At least the way he's doing it. You're mad because he's charging $350, but he's giving you more hours than any other sector, white, Asian, all of it. And you're telling me, and then on his course, let's say he put out the course last month, right? He puts out the course last month, but then later on, he turns around and he'll add to that course without you having to pay a dime. Where do you get that from? Tough Love, is that you in the chat?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
That was me. That was me.
Okay, because I'm trying to figure out is this a troll underneath your name?
No, that's me, brother. That's me.
No, okay, look underneath it. Is that a troll, y'all?
Sister 19. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's a troll. That's a
That's a troll. Yeah, that's a bot.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I said that, because of the way the letters were.
Look at Uncle Stu spotting the. Now that's how you do it. I'm not gonna stay long. I just had to come up one say salute, and I know in the chat I said brothers. I'm not saying uncle. I'm saying brother Stu because I'm older than you. But I realized no, I gotta say Uncle Stu because that's your trademark. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it as Uncle Stu. But I came on to say, man, I remember when you started, and then I see where you're at now, and I remember the struggle, and I see where you're at now. And what I love about where you're at now is because I came up because of something Tough Love said to you.
Yeah.
You brought in the horizon. That's your mission. That's what we who they consider old school because of our age, consider elders because of our age, should be mentors, should teach in school and pull some of these young brothers and say, hey, this is how you might not want to do it this way. And I find now on YouTube, and salute to Tack Williams, because when I subscribed to his channel, when Tack, he was on Blind Guy, his wife, and their life, and I subscribed the same day.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate
that's
that.
how I met him. Yeah.
and that's how I met Uncle Stu on Blind Guy, his wife, and their life, because I don't rock with a lot of channels because I used to get on my wife and say, why do you watch that Atlanta housewife? And then I started watching some of the stuff that we do on YouTube, and it's the same damn thing.
Yeah. And
I'm sitting back laughing, and I'm going, wait, whoa, what? You're laughing in the mirror.
Oh, I can't hear him for some. Is it me?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I find that it's like I'm laughing in the mirror. This is not funny. This is not. There was something, I don't remember who chat it was in, but it's why I rock and love my brother Big Bad Bull, because he pointed something out like that also, and because he's a grown man about his business, ain't about the foolishness, and he will support you as long as you ain't down with the foolishness. And we are making videos because I've seen them, and I admit I sat through a few of them. Not a lot, but I sat through some where we are making videos criticizing each other, but in a very disrespectful way. We're men, but we acting like the Real Housewives, and I'm like, I can't criticize my wife anymore unless I stop with this nonsense. So I don't support it. And again, big up to you, Uncle Stu, for making it this far, because I have a channel, but I don't, because of what I do for a living and outside, I don't have the time. You guys who can do this, I'm your audience. I want to be there to support and help you grow, but I can't. Hey, salute to you guys who can make content. 3 videos. What was that? You said Tough Love make 3 videos a day? Wow. All right, bro.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was Brother Williams.
Oh, okay.
What one of the things that I have studied in this past week, because now I'm looking at people that has already been in the game and is actually educating people on how to do certain things. And they were showing on YouTube you know, how many videos you got to make, say, to get 1,000 subscribers? How many videos you got to be making to get 10K? Now, these are videos. This ain't no live streaming stuff. It's quality videos. And I put all those numbers down. Technically, you know, for 1 year, you got to be making at least 3 videos a week.
Right.
To really build a subscriber count. And that's off of videos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you're constantly putting in work to, as they say, be that content creator. And the argument, you know, now is, yeah, YouTube wants you to do 10-minute videos, but then they penalize you if the people that's watching the video only goes 5 minutes. So a lot of these big YouTubers now, if you look at their how many minutes they're actually doing a video, it's like 4 minutes 30 seconds. Maybe they get to 5 minutes, and that's it.
Right.
There is no, you know, 10-minute videos, you know, or these 1 hour live streams, you know, because I was saying to mine, like, yeah, the numbers look good when you first start. You're right. But she was getting on me because she was like, your numbers is better when you're producing content. And I ain't gonna lie, I got lazy. It was easy for me just to take a live stream and say, cut, throw this in, and bam, you know, without really, I was taking the easy way out. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was taking
it's
where instead of, okay, this video sucked because I didn't take the time to get the ums and the ahs and the this and the. Now it is taking me time to put together content, and okay, maybe this one video is going to take me 3 days to do.
Right.
And put it out.
So let me ask you guys a question. I heard FYF Sports Debates talk about this. I'm just curious about Uncle Stu, XDMC, and Tough Love. Do you guys use other platforms to drive traffic to your YouTube channel, or do you use your YouTube channel in any way to drive traffic to other platforms as a branding or marketing technique? I'm curious.
That'll be a question for you, because I haven't put up content in a minute. I'm not in it like that.
Okay.
All
right.
So I mean, just to jump in here real quick. So my main objective right now is to provide my perspective on certain topics and provide my viewpoints. And I really wanted to sit somewhere. And YouTube right now has been a great baseline for me. So I haven't really been promoting on Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat. You know, I haven't really been doing that. You know, so when I first started, I was kind of like really just trying to find my way. And I started on Facebook under a totally different name or whatever. But when I kind of got serious, I kind of, you know, sat back and I said, let me hone in on what I want to do. And I said, let me come up with this tough love concept. So I really just try to work on my consistency on my channel. So that way, regardless of what video you come across, it provides the message that I want to send without distraction. So just to answer your question in short, kind of what me and Uncle Stu was talking about, I'm going to be navigating and pushing the message out a little bit more, but I want to fine tune it on YouTube first. So that way, once I start to kind of bounce around like Instagram, et cetera, I'll have people that's willing to follow me or whatever. I think I still have to do a little bit more work though. So I'm gonna fine tune the message.
Totally. I understand.
Yeah.
And I think for me, he said it right. I am learning that some of these other social media platforms YouTube is a beast in itself. Twitter is another beast in itself. You know, all of these different social media sites has its own methodology of doing stuff. So if you know, right now, I'm just now saying, okay, I'm getting almost this YouTube thing down. You know, I want to kind of master this other area of YouTube before now getting ready to say, well, okay, I can slide this content over to Facebook, which is a whole nother market. And you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
a whole nother beast in itself. And you know, now they got this thing, YouTube Shorts. So it's like, okay, how do I take 1 minute what Tough Love said, throw Uncle Stu on it, and then throw it out as a short? And I'm not even understanding how the heck these shorts is operating. You know, does it help my page? Is it just another way of getting content out? You know, so it's like I'm learning all of that. I do know about being in the future as far as doing a regular podcast. You know, I was told, look at that. But again, that all comes with money, time, you know, and it's like, okay, how do you put all of that together?
But ain't that the beauty of StreamYard? Where the beauty of StreamYard is you don't have to wait to learn all the other platforms. You could just create your account like Tack Williams said. And then when you go live, when you set it up, you just click all the platforms you want to go live on at the same time. It's called simulcasting. That's one of the best things about a service. They reached out to me. It's called You Now. I was like, they reached out to me and said, we'll make you a partner if you start going live over here. They said the beauty of You Now is, well, you can simulcast your stream on YouTube at the same time. So it's not going to affect you. They said you'll just be streaming primarily over here, but the video will be playing live on YouTube as well. So you'll still have those same people over there on YouTube. And I'm like, man, that's a good idea. And y'all going to partner me and pay me monthly? I said, oh, okay. Well, I can't turn that down. Well, you know, if y'all just want me to just start my live over here and all I'm doing, like that's all I'm doing. So there's a benefit in going live in all those platforms. You can go live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at the same time. You bringing in viewership all at the same time. That's the goal. Get more eyes to your channel, and Twitch as well. Twitch is you know, right now it's generally been known as a platform for gamers. Even OnlyFans had a stigma for having adult content, but now it's no longer just adult content. Get your OnlyFans account going. Patreon is one of the best ways to create SEO. Why? Because you don't have to tell people to sign up for a membership. You can create your Patreon account and publish all your videos on there for public viewing, not just for members. Patreon is one of the best platforms for pushing your content. And you know, you don't have to do anything. Like, you know, they're really good for SEO. So it's just about getting more eyes to your content. And there's a lot of ways to do it.
Patreon page. Yeah. I have a Patreon page. You know, I don't even have it as tiers right now. It's $10. You know, and to me, there I even have a closer relationship because you can say things on there, and I'm not talking about cussing and salacious stuff. Real deep, let's get into the hardcore knowledge of things. There's my sister right here. Salute, Cheryl. I'm surprised she up. She be over there making sure that them brothers on the other channels, boy. She be on it, boy. She be on them brothers over there.
But you know, the other thing that if you like writing a book, or you have a book, or you have product that you want to promote, Amazon Live is, look at the numbers on that you can simultaneously stream there. Also, there's a brother Kirk Nugent, his channel. I think he has a few free courses on how he does that. And Amazon Live is.
I didn't even know Amazon had a live. I didn't look into that.
I was like, that's a new
I didn't know that either. See, that's what I'm saying.
I gotta get into that ASAP. I'm about to write that down.
That's what I'm writing down.
You got everybody grabbing.
But I mean, that's what happens when everybody not standing there with a sword out trying to cut each other's neck off, man.
Yeah,
exactly. And you said something earlier, Tank, about there's enough for we all can eat. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but we all could look out for each other, and in that sense, I'll go back to something you said about TLA, and I've watched some of his content. TLA content is too long for me. You know, that's just me. That doesn't mean it's bad content. I just don't have. I have it on in the background, and I'm working, and I noticed 3 hours go by, and he's still on, and I only heard 10 minutes of it. But when he's telling, if someone is offering you their time. Their time is money. Their time, you should want to pay for that. There's a difference between mentoring, which you do not charge anyone for, and you paying for my professional services. And that I've shown that I can help turn a profit and that is successful, you're going to learn something. Before the Billions is an example of me mentoring in the sense of when he started his channel, I saw, hey, I don't see this in the YouTube streets for people that look like us, a tech channel. And the brother has a way about himself. You know, I like that. Let me bring my advertising expertise in and say, you know, I'm going to mentor you on one thing, your intro. And not only am I going to mentor you on your intro, I'm going to do your intro for you. Oh, I don't think I can afford you. No, you cannot afford me. And I don't mean to pat myself, but no, not what I do.
Right.
And, but I'm going to do this for you because that's my investment in you to help you grow. And then just remember, you do that to someone else when you get in a position. See, I got mine and still building on mine. I'm 56 years old. I'm here to help you, young blood. So that's my mentoring. Now once I do that and you come back and you say, hey, I need a video edit, some color correcting, some sound on it. Okay, now we're going into the price range. And I hope you have some Sony money. Awesome ABC money, because that's how I roll. Okay? And if you don't have that, then you better pick up a book. Take one of those courses online on YouTube for free. Because it's like that, man. So I don't see nothing wrong with TLA charging for his time. But at the same time, we do need to people who have quote unquote made it are in a certain position. And know where the landmines are. We do need to school them on how to step across them. And if you don't step across them and you land on one, how to get the shrapnel out and how to survive it and keep going. Because Uncle Stu, you've been through it already. I've been through it already. You know, so let me help you.
Right. Just like this brother, Nielsen Counseling. Salute. I gotta call you next week, sir. Nielsen Counseling. We don't have that online. He got his own YouTube page. I told him, I said, look, I'm trying to set up a Patreon. And what I want to do in the Patreon is I want you a part of that Patreon. Not as a member. I need you to talk to these people about some mental health counseling because in all reality, some people don't have the money. But if we could pull it together, that man deserves money for his time.
Absolutely.
Now, I know I can get him on a platform to, maybe talk about this subject. I'll talk about that subject. But when it's time to take the deep dive and really dig into some stuff, nah, you need a little bit more professional help. We need to talk about that. So I'm letting people know my Patreon is to give value. It's not, yes, it's a business, but I'm also not going to show you my new Escalade and you didn't get nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, brother, Uncle Stu, I actually got to run, but I had to come up and, hey, when Tough Love gave that testimony, you brought in his right. I know you heard it, but you're a humble brother. I wanted to make sure that you heard it.
Yes,
and that
sir.
you're doing what you're doing here is working, And hey, one love to both you brothers.
Thank you, man.
Definitely sports database with the office that I can work in all day. You got the Hulk back there. You got the man.
Hey, look, he gonna make me, when I shut off the stream, he gonna make me take my whole table, just throw it over. Be like, I don't want that.
I got a little something, but man, I
like
that.
that.
The young blood.
Look, the next time you see me, I'm gonna have my PlayStation 4 over here, my gaming computer. Be like, well, you got all that stuff. Look, I just wanted to look good, all right?
But Uncle Stu, only people of a certain age gonna know I got my Dolomite.
See,
That's what I'm talking
Hell no,
about.
nothing about
Man.
that. Hell no, nothing about that.
I didn't even know what that was.
Dolomite.
See, you done messed sports up. He got to go Google that.
Yeah.
Who the heck is that?
Yeah.
You brothers have a good evening and a good
All
safe
right.
weekend.
All right, brother. Thank
Sir.
you, man.
All right,
I just subscribed to your channel. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Oh,
subbing to
awesome.
all y'all
Thank
as
you,
well.
brothers.
Man. All right, yeah, yeah. I'm about to get up out of here too. I'm gonna let you shut it down. Don't know how much longer you're gonna be live, but yeah, appreciate you, Tack.
I mean,
Appreciate
it's
you too, man.
just like Tack said. I mean, you know, it turned out to be 2 different live streams. You know, normally I would have shut it down right after you know, Spittin Fire, but y'all had so much knowledge that it was like, hey, let me take advantage of this while I got it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's never a guarantee Tack gonna come back. And when I say not come back, meaning having a time and it's like, hey, I got something to contribute. Let me jump on it. You know,
that content and then use it later on because you got it.
Yeah. And just like you, sports is like, I don't know when you're gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, I don't take it personally. You know, it's not personal, like, maybe he was on my platform, he didn't show up. It's not personal. It's like he showed up when he needed to show up and he said what he needed to say.
And you know what? That happened on this second half was organic. There was that was just straight spirit. That was straight vibrations. It was that's in his natural force. That's why if you notice, you got 6 men on here at one time or whatever, and anybody peeping through and looking and staying hidden and not saying nothing, but that's cool too. But what you ain't gonna hear is us getting together like that naturally and talk about what a real man is and how different women are. That you have to plan that. You have to have an intent to discuss that. And that's not a natural discussion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, give me your last 2 minutes of something. I want Sports to give me his last 2 minutes, and then we're gonna shut it down.
I mean, like, hey, y'all, look, hey, some of y'all might not like me after you watch a few of my videos about 90s basketball and 80s basketball. So, but you know, it is what it is. It's a fun channel over there. I love what you're doing over here, man. Like what he said, man. I'm taking notes on all the advice that I got. Definitely gonna be implementing a lot of this stuff into what I do now, and then you just with you and even with Spittin Fire, man, she needs to get on Spotify and Anchor ASAP because she has a voice that is resonating where people will really just sit and listen because her voice is, you know, when you just telling a story, you can just draw people in. So again, everybody has a talent. I think she has a gift. I think Tack has a voice where that's a gift, and you too, Uncle. TLA has a gift too, you know, for this. And you know what, TLA is kind of turned into what Tack was talking about, where after watching them first maybe 10 times, I don't need to have the phone in my face watching them. I can sit it down and just listen to them now. But that's the value in his content right there, because I can still listen. So he is right. He is right. Like I said, I wouldn't take that as a negative. That is a positive in his own way. That's a positive in his own way. But it also shows you what you can improve on too. So there's another lane for the visual that you can improve later down the line. I'm sure there's things I can improve with my content as well. I'm always trying to find ways to make it better. So everybody just got to be willing to learn and just throw their egos aside. There's too many people with egos in this sector where they feel like they got the answers to it all and clout chasing, and you stealing my subs. Like, throw that out the way, man. That's
really, and that's the whole thing. If I could say it from my generational point of view, it's the first time that we all can do something. All of us can eat, and none of us got to be fighting for no quote invisible market share. Like, what market share? You know, because I look at it like this: if I'm on live now and say Tack was on live now, okay, maybe on his live he might have 20,000 people listening to his live, and I only may have 5,000. But here's the reality: when everybody leave his, I'm hoping they come on to mine and just see the after show. I'm gonna still get the numbers. I'm just getting them at a different time.
Yeah. And that's why, like what he said was, you clip this up because sometimes I have the tendency when I see the live is ended for somebody, I have a tendency to be like, man, I missed it, man. And then I don't rewatch it. That's why you want to cut this up and re-put this out there as additional content, because it's going to be new to somebody.
And it's going to hit different.
It's going to hit different. So you want to clip it. Yeah, that's fact.
Because you're going to cut out all those spaces of nothing was really being said. It's going to hit. It's going to have that different hit to the person.
Yeah. Right. And then you, like you said, 2 different videos, 2 different video titles, different SEO in both the videos. So you bringing in viewership from all types of angles. And I don't mind when people hashtag FYF Sports or hit at FYF Sports. Do it, because my viewers would love to see this. Some of my subs would love to see this. And I'm assuming everybody, but that's how you start bringing more eyes to that content. I would definitely clip this up, man.
And let me ask you, time-wise, regular videos, the argument is always within that 5 minute each, where we've been talking for about an hour and a half. So would you just do one video where you just do the whole, let's say, extra hour and a half and just put that out there as one, or cut them up into smaller versions?
I say you got 2 options. You can cut it up into like part 1 through 3, part 1 of the conversation with FYF Sports, Tack Williams, and Tough Lug, or you could cut it into an hour and a half, 2 hour segment, and then drop it as a live premiere. So if you do have a subscriber base that loves seeing the lives, or like they want that feel of it being live, then just put it out as a live premiere. And they're in the chat typing. You can be in there too, responding, giving your thoughts and feedback on some of the things that are said. And so again, you can do it multiple ways. The beauty of YouTube is you can really do all of those, all of the above.
Yeah.
Right.
And it'll work just as well. So it's just up to you how you want to put it back out.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree, man.
What's your last minute message?
First of all, thank you. And as always learn something. If nothing but humility. Of course, I got a lot more than that tonight, but I always watch the example that you give, and it's always a teaching moment for me, because I always look to be a better version of myself in what I do. And I know that a lot of times I cannot find that in me, so I'll look to other places. I look for other examples, learning moments, teaching moments such as this. So that's why I say it's all good, man. Like you have that platform. You have that brother that's in China that was speaking to you. He's just telling you how he sees you. Now that's a brother that's in marketing. That's what he does for a living. Okay.
Yeah.
He already sees you somewhere else. Do you understand? Right? Okay. That's what people are saying. People I think it's really tough for people to describe what a person really is, but a person can really tell you how they see you.
Right.
That's what people are saying the majority of the time.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you. It's nice meeting the brother FYF.
Yes,
his
sir.
humility, his calmness, the thing that I find, Tough Love, XMDM, DC, or however his name goes. The first thing that you notice is people aren't worried about you stealing something off of their plate. See? That's why people say, here's what I got for you, man. You want some of these biscuits? It's called You Won or You Here, or whatever FYF said that streaming simulcasting is, right? And then XMDC or whatever, he comes on and say, hey, mentor, hey, I can do this. Hey, here goes some more chicken wings. You want some chicken? Then the other brother, Tough Love, come on and say, I got some gravy. You want to put some gravy? You know what I mean? That's what's happening. So I just want to say thank you again to that, man.
You definitely welcome. You definitely
it's
welcome. And both of y'all knowledge was greatly appreciated, big time. Gave me a lot of stuff to eat, a lot of stuff to chew. I believe there it is. Yeah, boy. There, he got it. Uncle Stu about to throw his whole studio out the window.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I actually like your setup. No, I'm not even gonna lie. I like the setup.
Yeah, but it's been nothing but love up here. Nothing but love at all. I'm getting it all together little by little, and just try to have that real that vibe where when you come in, is hey, you come into a place where you get to sit down, you get to learn. Um, you get your mind just being able to have your mind free
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that you could be you without acting cuckoo and crazy and
No doubt.
all that other
No
stuff.
doubt.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
to the people in the chat, Uncle Stu loves you. Remember, like, subscribe, share this content. At the same time, remember, subscribers ain't just a number to me. Each and every single one of y'all is a person. And I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. So, with that being said, this is Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. Emancipate your mind. Peace.
All
If
right,
y'all
Pete.
want to talk to me in the back channel, you could do that as I shut down this live.
Okay. Yeah, so Uncle Stu, I was just, one of the things I was even talking to Getty about, a couple of the other people. I'm like, when you grab this content,
Go
just
ahead.
just create like the brother FYF was saying, you can create your own playlist from this, right? And then you can schedule releases called Content Creation Sunday, content creation so and so, and at a particular time on a particular day, you just release bits and pieces to this, or you throw another live and you just invite content creators to come on and speak about their channel and grab that. You would have so much content scheduled out for different sessions, different parts. You wouldn't even have to, you could commentate on it, or, like FYF was saying, you could just do a narration in the beginning or talk about whatever like that to intro it, and just have that thing flowing, man. Eventually you just create a robot. That's how I can go.
That'll work. All right. Live shut down now.
Yeah. All right.